evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're having a wonderful night tonight. Sorry, hopefully the mic is still working after I bumped it. All right, today we are going to be finishing up some wacky news, some wacky people saying wacky things. Jimmy Kimmel apparently went a little too hard in the paint, and by paint I mean something, insert gay joke here, and he got pulled from late night indefinitely, which is quite funny. At least I think so. Some of the other individuals involved in the Kirk assassination get pulled up on other charges. That is not surprising to anyone at all, considering these types of people. And then perhaps one of the most interesting pieces of news today is simply, how do I say this? The Anti-Thesis by Franklin Armory is totally not ASBR, totally not a rifle, totally not a pistol. It is something else, something in between. And it is totally not going to get many of you arrested if you tend to buy one, especially if the administration happens to change hands. So, yes, we will talk about all of that tonight. But before we do, Richard and Boner Maloney, how's your guys' night going?
Good.
It's good. It is good, King.
Good. Fantastic. Anybody do anything exciting this week so far?
I got all my stuff ordered for my totally not Restless Rifle build for like the third time. I made a video, was like, after 10 years, I've reached peak AR, and then I immediately was like, this is garbage, I'm redoing the whole thing.
Instantly, yeah.
And so all the parts are ordered, though, they're on their way.
Thus
yeah,
the
awesome.
cycle continues.
Okay, so I saw today that Aero Precision sent me an email that the EPC 9 uppers were back in stock, and they were on sale for $270.
Whoa.
And I was like, I should get one because I need another one. So an entire EPC 9 upper for $270. I was like, that's a good deal. And then the next time I checked, they were still out of stock. And then I go check the dealer website because I'm a dealer for them, of course. And they're still up for the exact same price. So I don't know if what would be funny is if I buy it from the dealer website, I would probably get it. And the the guys that paid retail would not. Yeah, as RC says, quote unquote, in stock, for sure. I would like to take this time, actually, a very important message, a very important thank you. I would like to welcome Trigicon to 2019, as they have indeed broken the mold, a true trailblazer in the space of red dots. Oh, not even red dots. I'm sorry. Gotta stop using that word, that wrong color. I'm miscoloring their dot because they have come out with a green dot in 2025.
Whoa. Peak. It's peak, boys. It's peak.
It's peak. So yeah, welcome to 2019, Trigicon. Thank you very much for this groundbreaking, revolutionary new addition to the RMR lineup. Now, unfortunately, it's just the base model RMR. It's not the RMR HD. It's not the RCR. It's not the ones you would actually want anymore in 2025. You know, how long has the RMR been around, the Type 2? A decade, 15 years at this point. It's been a long, long time. And the Type 1 goes way back, way back. But the Type 2, man, the innovation on display at Trigicon is a wonderful thing to see. I haven't seen the MSRP yet, but I'm pretty sure it's like an extra $100, $50, something like that. They did note that the battery life goes down considerably. 2 years of battery life. Yeah, people not impressed. Yeah, how does it feel charging more than double the competition for gimmick trends you are years behind on? That's $810 retail, probably. Well, that's what we've been waiting for. All right. Indeed, indeed. Yeah, not particularly exciting. Thanks for trying. Hey, it looks fine. But again, I hate RMRs. I get that they're durable. I get that they're made in America. But when it comes to actually using them on my handgun, they're probably my least favorite model out there.
Imagine putting glass on a pistol. Couldn't be me. You know,
well, could it be both? Sorry, wow, there's a hot take. I don't think dots or pistols should have dots on them at all.
I think that's all newfangled garbage. I'm just joking.
Wow,
I can't wait for the amber version to come out in 2035.
Right. Breaking. It'll only be on the base model RMR as well. It'll be coming out in 2035. The amber model is the new thing. Yeah, for sure. But for your hardcore Connors out there, you Church of Connors, hard R, for you hardcore guys out there, I'm sure you're gonna love forking over $600 for this green dot. And it's just what the doctor ordered.
I like to think that it was the Chinese knockoffs that were selling more because they were selling them in green. They were seeing the numbers of those selling more than what theirs were. They're like, man, we need to corner this market.
Over on Ko-Fi, the Lightspore says, at a concert, hope the stream is good. Well, I hope your concert is good. I hope you're going to go listen to something mega based like Taylor Swift or The Weeknd, you know. Only hardcore music here. Subarctic Psycho for 2. He's very happy so far. Well, I hope he continues to be happy. I hope we continue to please him throughout the night. I would hate to think of what would happen if he was upset with us. Art Vandalite for 2 says, officially late. Over under is 3.5 minutes. Call it. I think we were about 3 minutes late before the intro started rolling. 6 minutes if you count the intro. A negative 30 degree nightmare for 2 says, late again. Colossians 4:5, which is be wise. Unbelievable. Says, live wisely among those who are not believers and make the most of every opportunity. Excellent. Thank you very much indeed. Act wisely, which is something that's a little bit difficult for the people on this show, but we do try. Boy Anderson for 2 says, you don't want this heart, boy. It's already broke. Aww. I'm sorry, Boy Anderson. That should be on like a 14-year-old emo girl's page somewhere. Guns, Gas, and God for $5 says, dear Lord, grant us all the temperance to get us through these times. Also, where's my music playlist? Damn it. I have to do it. Because I have to make the thumbnails for it. And I have the raw files. Richard can't do it, so it's my fault. I will get it done, though, okay? I've just got to actually get down to it. Dr. Fuzzy for 2 says, Jimmy being stupid again? Imagine my shock. Yeah, it's pretty normal at this point. Huge Ass for 5 says, Franklin Arms is on that fent-laced Colombian product. Yeah, fent-laced cocaine for when regular cocaine isn't hard enough anymore. We will talk about that. Funny enough, we're also talking about a story of Narcan vigilantes.
Yes.
That are running around inner cities and metropolitan areas just ruining highs against people's will, which I find hilariously funny. Yeah, thank you, Huge Ass. And we will also talk about Franklin Armory. Known You Know It for 2 says, play the clip! Which one? What clip? I don't know. I don't know which one you want.
Get that ugly, disabled freak away from me.
I don't know. You didn't specify, so I played the one I wanted to. Focus groups. Oh. Oh, that one. Yeah, heck yeah. Oh, damn it. There's another one that I needed to download. It's even better than that. Gosh, same vein, but even better than that. Next stream. Focus Trip's wife for 5 says, Boner Maloney. Bologna? Boner Maloney. Oh, I can't. Damn it. Okay. Boner Baloney Maloney. Okay. Boner Baloney Maloney has a nice ring to it. How much to legally change the name? Bill it to the fabulous husband upstairs. Damn. Don't do that. We do not do that.
On the house, Mr. Strip, I got it for you.
No, you know it for 2 says gay and regarded, very regarded. We are highly regarded over here, at least from what I'm told. Ezekiel Herrera for 5 says, as a man who just bought a TA02 and RCR for the first Trigicon products, I will absolutely pass on the green. Well, some people like green. I'm not a green connoisseur. I mean, Boner, he just doesn't even like the colors. I'm not gonna lie. No reds, no greens on top of your pistols. Just straight irons. Just an irons only neighborhood. Gray only.
Gray.
Actually, no. Stock 3-dot or front white sights. Only white sights around here for Boner. Heathen from Texas for 5 says, thoughts on the Holosun SCS MOS? Think of getting it for the new G40. Yeah, I mean, if you want something that direct mounts to the MOS system, the Holosun SCS is like the only one that does that. So it's kind of cool for that. And not terribly expensive. Dick Cheney's Heart for 2 says, iron sights, good enough for Jesus. Good enough for me.
God bless.
No. Thank you, Dick Cheney's Heart. Logan Sucks at Shooting for 2 says, one must imagine Subarctic Psycho being happy. One must imagine, huh, Logan? You couldn't imagine him being upset.
That one is not Logan.
No one you know for 2 says, the one I sent you today. Oh, shoot, which one? Gosh dang it.
Oh, live stream DLC update.
Far too many. You understand how many people I have to deal with on a daily basis? I think you know and you know. Chud McGill for 2 says, Richard, gassy milk or gassy of your choice. I prefer the, I don't know. I prefer this one. I think this one is more appropriate for the time being. Oh, how do I? Oh, shoot. There we go. Thank you, Chud. Call Me Dave for 2 says, best buffer weight spring for a 16-inch carbine gas. Oh, the dumpster for that thing. Because it should be a 16-inch mid or a 16-inch intermediate. But if you must, I would say an H2. I would just go with an H2 and it'll probably solve all of your problems. But today I got a 16-inch rifle length gas from CAC. So that's going to be my next competition build.
Interesting.
Heathen from Texas for 2 says, Keltec does cocaine while Franklin does fent. All right. Fair enough. Shoot. Just, hey, no one you know of, just bump it. Just send it to me again so I can actually see it, because I can't find it. And it's going to take me... Listen, I'm a boomer, okay? It's going to take me way too long to actually find it.
Yeah, I think my computer just had a stroke.
Oh, no, you're good, homie. You're good. Here we go. Fathers, this should be your biggest takeaway from the events of this past week. So now this is Tyler Robinson from 12 years ago. Almost forgot Tyler. He can totally avoid us now that he's got all of the computer accessories he's been wanting. Now, this, we don't know about like the specific instances of Tyler Robinson being, you know, kept away, very insular on these fringe online communities that also involve furry and transgender individuals. But I just wanted to post that to elicit the point that parents should be very invested in their children's lives, right? So if your child is hiding away, you know, on the computer too much, he's not actually touching grass, he's not actually interacting with other humans, it is your job as the parent, especially for young children that don't know what they're doing. For instance, in 2013, Tyler would have been 10 years old. And this path into these crazy communities where they're very malleable, they can be exposed to terrible people, terrible ideologies, and it is your job as the parent to protect them from the dangers and darkness of the world. Right. And that is something as a quote-unquote sheltered kid growing up that my parents actually did a really good job keeping me away from a lot of these types of people, right? Because you never know. If you're a 10-year-old kid, you could get indoctrinated into just about anything. And you never know. And so as a parent, it's just important to be involved in your kid's life.
I'm not a parent myself, but I've seen it happen with family members around me. So it's very true. It's 100% true. I'm seeing it firsthand, and just gotta take pride in what's yours, man. Otherwise, people will take it away.
Yeah, 100%. Now this is one of those areas where yesterday they dropped some of the conversations between Tyler Robinson and his live-in boyfriend person, but it's all just very convenient because essentially it lists out everything you would ever need to incriminate someone. So this is it's just step by step exactly what happened, where it was, how he did it, everything. So if you're taking the conspiratorial patsy mindset on the assassination. It doesn't really help the fact that Tyler was like, oh, I left the rifle in this place with this around it. I can't believe that this happened. I might need to go back. So Robinson says, and this is to his roommate, which is a transgender, or just his boyfriend, who's pretending to be a female in this case. I'm still okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I gotta grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you. Roommate, you weren't the one who did it, right? Question mark. Robinson, I am. I'm sorry. So perfect admission of the crime. Roommate, I thought they caught the person, which we'll talk about in just a second. Robinson, no, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering. Roommate, why? Robinson, why did I do it? Roommate, yes. I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I'm able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it. Roommate, how long have you been planning this? Robinson, a bit over a week. I believe I can get close to it, but there's a squad car parked right by it. I think they're already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it. Robinson, I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle, meaning that this was his grandfather's Mauser. I don't even know if it had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about prints. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits. I didn't have the ability or time to bring it with. I might have to abandon it and hope they didn't find Prince. How the F will I explain losing it to my old man? Only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. And again, all of the stuff that he's just saying, all of these explicit details for apparently no reason. Maybe you could take the stance that he's freaking out. He's just trauma dumping to his boyfriend about this because he is slowly coming to the realization that his life is over. Remember how I was engraving the bullets? The effing messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notices bulges ooh on Fox News, I might have a stroke. All right, I'm going to have to leave it. This really effing sucks. And then he goes in to talk about how his dad's going to kill him for not bringing the rifle back because his dad was calling him after they saw the images released by the police of the quote-unquote suspected shooter. His dad started calling him, saying, hey, where's Grandpa's rifle? All this sort of stuff, because it was a sporterized,
very specific
M98.
Mauser.
And then the optic on it was allegedly like $2,000. It was probably like a Leopold or something like that. Optics nerds might be able to tell exactly what it is. But it was a very expensive setup. That was a gift to Tyler from his grandpa. And then his dad, after seeing the photos, figured out that, no, this is my son. The son is at one point had wanted to commit suicide, but they were able to talk him into turning himself in instead. Which I suppose is the better alternative. And I mean, you can see it here. This is him sitting in court, I think yesterday, or actually today, sorry, this morning. And, oh, sorry, you guys can't see that because I haven't pulled it up. But just no emotion, deadpan, SSRI stare, just nothing going on.
Why does he look a little bit like Grantham? Why does he look just a little bit like Grantham in that video call?
It's possible.
Maybe it's one of his.
one of the many Garandlings running around.
Yeah.
Yeah. But just a realization that his life is over, maybe shorter, or sooner rather than later, I should say, because I believe they are pursuing the death penalty, which will either be by lethal injection or by firing squad.
Wouldn't it be amazing if it went through? What state did this happen in too?
Utah.
Utah
still
okay,
has a death penalty.
Yeah. So wouldn't it be amazing if they're like, all right, yep, death penalty it is, and they bust out Grandpappy's Mauser and are like, all right, here it is, kid. Fuck.
Well, what did they use for the
308?
Yeah, it's like 308 AP, isn't it?
What?
No, it was 308. I want to say it was 308 Spire Point soft tip.
That would make sense. What is? Hold on. We're pulling that. Jamie, pull that up. What
Jimmy, pull that up right now.
is used in American firing squads?
I believe the last one was in West Virginia. If
It's
I'm
not too long
mistaken.
ago.
And they
Typically,
used the 308. The chat will have it here.
at least according to I'm on Bing. This might be false. According to Bing, in the United States, firing squads typically use standard military-issued rifles, the most common calibers including 7.62 by 51, 5.56, 30-30, and 30-06. I mean, I guess historically, maybe. Let me actually ask Google, who might know.
I do remember that it the last one they used some sort of special ammo, which is why it was like kind of note.
Yeah, it was 308 something. I'll figure it out.
I'm running out of file space here. All right, I did get it. No one you know of. I did get it. Okay. Now these are some of the text messages. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, so yeah, so the full alleged text exchange between Robinson and his roommate. So Robinson texts his roommate, drop what you're doing and look under my keyboard. When the roommate looked under the keyboard, he found a note, allegedly read, I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I'm going to take it. And then it continues on, blah, 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 so on and so forth. My dad wants photos of the rifle. He says Grandpa wants to know who has what, and the feds released a photo of the rifle, and it's very unique. He's calling me right now, not answering. That's good on the dad for doing the right thing and making sure that his son meets justice. Obviously a terrible, horrible thing that you never want to have to go through, and I don't wish that on anyone, but good on him for making sure that justice gets done.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure it wasn't an easy decision to make, but he was a retired cop, right? Retired cop of like 20 years or something?
27 years. 27 years, are, if I remember correctly, yes. So this is a real Black Queen that no one you know of wants us to use as a reaction clip, I guess.
It feels a little fake and gay. Gotta tell you guys, it feels a little fake and gay, and there will be no fakeness and no gayness.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. Not a terrible clip. Not a terrible clip of Candace.
You mean Vintage Warfare?
Oh, sorry, Vintage. Yeah, my bad, my bad. I forget how similar they all look.
Oh my god.
Bastion Cash for 2 says, thoughts on the primary arms red dot? I like the big circle. Well, they make like 5, so you need to be more specific, because they have the MD20, the MD21, and the MD25, and then they have the SLX and the GLX version and the ACSS versions of all of those. So could you be more specific? In general, their red dots are fine. Fine. Not excellent, but fine. Mr. 9x19 says Proverbs 4:19. Let me see. Proverbs 4:19. But the way of the wicked is like deep darkness. They do not know what makes them stumble. Indeed. Thank you, Mr. 9x19. Julian, member for 25 months, OG supporter of the channel, says, I was just fondling the 16-inch rifle CAC you gave me earlier. Still the most accurate gun I have. Update, please, on how the new one performs. Yeah, well, I'm going to be putting it together pretty soon. I'm going to be running a competition October 10th, a 2-gun put on by Kian and myself at the Canton Sioux rifle something or other. So, yep, and people can come and hang out and shoot the match with us. Thank you, Julian. Hope you're doing well. Just Some Space Cowboy for 2 says, no one under 16 should be on the internet. I was kind of thinking 18 or 21. You know, if you're not old enough to drink, you can't be on the internet, something like that. There will be some bad takes we're about to go through, though. Heathen from Texas for 5 says, Richard, today I want you to use the PFP that you want to use. Aw, thank you, Heathen. That's very kind of you. Spaz Guy drops 5, says nothing. Well, appreciate it, Spaz. Hope you're having a good night, man. Hope you're working on that video so I don't have to go break your kneecaps. Thank you, Spaz. Heathen from Texas says, can they use 12 gauge Dragon Breath? Interesting, but probably not. Thank you, Ethan. Gabriel Baker for 5 says, hot take, carry out the death penalty using the method of the killer. I mean, it's going to work out the same way. 30-06 to the neck. Thank you, Gabriel Baker. Just Some Space Cowboy for 2 says it was Hornady, 308 Hornady tap, 99% sure. Okay, that's kind of what I remember. Bastion Cask says, or Cash, sorry, says the pistol dot the HTX-1. Well, if they would allow people to actually buy the HTX-1, I would let you know how it is, but I have not been able to purchase it yet, so I cannot tell you if it's good or not. However, what I can confirm is bad, is very bad. The George Zinn, this wacky individual who has somehow witnessed the 9/11 terror attacks, witnessed the Boston Marathon bombings, and also the assassination of Charlie Kirk, which is the wildest trifecta of all time, who also made a immediate distraction right after Charlie Kirk's assassination, saying, I shot him, you shoot me, that sort of thing in the crowd, causing a commotion. He was the person who initially was reported that he got arrested because he did, and then he was eventually released. However, as you can probably read, he got rearrested shortly after for other things. George Zinn, elderly rabble-rouser who falsely claimed he shot Charlie Kirk, is hit with child porn charges. Thank you for that. The elderly rabble-rouser who allegedly hindered Utah authorities' response after Charlie Kirk was fatally shot is now accused of keeping graphic sexual photos of children on his phone, according to law enforcement. George Zinn, 71, was charged with 4 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor on Monday after investigators found more than 20 images of kids as young as 5 years old. I think that this guy should be set up right next to Mr. Robinson, and they can both meet the same fate at the same time.
I wish the police would have obliged him of his request.
Hammers.
No,
All I have to say.
because shooting him is actually too nice. So here's the actual brief itself. So booking of George Zinn for obstruction of justice. He does also have a felony count of obstruction of justice as well, and possession of CSAM, which is child sex abuse material, which is CSAM. That's the colloquial short version of it. So if you ever see CSAM, that's what it is. So while Zinn was at the hospital, an FBI agent and an agent from the Utah State Bureau of Investigation met with Zinn, who agreed to speak with them concerning the matter. Zinn admitted that he had yelled that he was the shooter to allow the actual suspect to flee. That was his intent. So he was there in protest of Charlie Kirk, or in conjunction with other organizations, or in conjunction with the shooter to cause a distraction. We're not entirely sure about that. It is wild that you see somebody get shot and like light switch, like instantaneously start making a distraction, saying you're the one who did it, shoot me, and causing all the attention to go to you rather than the actual shooter. Like, I don't know what sort of mindset you need to be in for that, but it's all, it adds to the what did Candace say? It adds to some of the fake and gayness.
It feels a little fake and gay. Gotta tell you guys, it feels a little fake and gay, and there will be no fakeness and no gayness.
That's right. Just adds a little bit to it. During the interview, the agent asked to look at Zinn's phone, and Zinn agreed to let them. Zinn told the agents that he uses his phone to view and abuse CSAM, and that there may be some images on his phone. Those agents did see several images on the phone of prepubescent girls scantily dressed. So I don't even understand this, because if you are a PDF, do you say, oh hey, yeah, you can look at my phone, but be forewarned, there's CSAM on it? Like, none of that doesn't even make sense to me. Like, wouldn't you say, no, you cannot look at my phone unless you have a warrant? But instead, this psychopath is like, yeah, you can look at it, but just be forewarned that there's some like stuff on it or something. At the time, Utah County Special Victims Unit detectives were asked to take the matter over, as the other agents were needed to help with the UVU incident. On 9/15/25, a search warrant was obtained by UCSO SVU investigators for Zinn's phone. During a preliminary review of the phone, SVU investigators did view over 20 images of children ranging from 5 to 12 years old in various stages of undress. There were several very graphic sexual text threads in which Zinn shared images with other parties. So hopefully a lot of other people go down as well, because that's transmission of CSAM. Zinn admitted to UCSO SVU investigators that he gets gratification from viewing and sharing CSAM images with others, and that his preferred victim age is 5 to 12 years old.
Bruh.
I don't know what more you need if you have the confession, the explicit confession, the evidence, and everything else. Like, I think a speedy trial should be like 24 hours. Like, get a judge and jury together and just get it done. Just get it done. George Zinn is currently being held for second felony obstruction of justice for the Charlie Kirk assassination and felony CSAM 4 counts. And there will probably be more, especially when you get things like transmission, distribution, possession, because all of those things are a crime, right? The possession is a crime, the transmission of a crime, the distribution is a crime. All of that's a crime. So I hope he gets the maximum under Utah state law, which is probably, unfortunately, life in prison. But the upside is that in prison, perhaps true justice will be dispensed. Isn't that wacky how we send them to prison? We send them to prison in hopes that they meet justice, rather than doling out the justice as a society.
I guess we're just playing the game at this point.
I don't want to play these games anymore. Chud for 2 says, we don't want to see minorities here, sir. Gassy. Sorry about that. Boy Anderson for 2 says, I'll be damn. I'm finally back to being who I am. Okay. Oh, you'll be fine. Boy Anderson, I hope you're doing well. Heartbreak is never fun. Like, all jokes aside, heartbreak is never fun. Also, no jokes aside, Twink Glitter for 5 says, heard people are still calling out Trench for actual stolen valor. How come y'all haven't followed up on this? Well, I'll do it right now for you, Mr. Twink. It's just such a funny name. So, but allegedly, Trench wore a incorrect patch that he should not have. I believe an airborne patch or something that he shouldn't have actually worn. He wore it in Alaska like a decade ago. So I don't, as an outsider who's not part of the military, who's never been in the military, I don't even get what that patch signifies, other than it says that you've been somewhere and done something you haven't done. But, like, he was in Ukraine for a training exercise or for training up the locals. I know that. But how big of a deal it actually is, I'm not even aware of. So I personally, from the outside looking in, don't care. But if you're in the military and you do care, that's also fine.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know what the allegations are, and I personally don't care personally about it. But you have your unit patch is on your left shoulder. That's like the unit you're in. The right side is your deployment patch. If you've been on a combat zone deployment, you get to wear whatever unit.
I think that's what he had. So
Yes.
he had a right side patch that was the 143rd or whatever it was.
Yeah,
something
that's an
to
airborne
do with
unit, yeah.
Ukraine. Something to do with Ukraine. He was in Ukraine, but it was not a combat deployment.
Yeah.
And so I think, and allegedly he got yelled at for wearing it, and he never wore it again. So he put it on one time, and I don't know. 12th Monkey says, thoughts on the Romeo 8T. This guy right here with the Juliet 4 for $550. Dude, yeah. With that, I had a good magnifier for $550. Heck yeah. It's boxy. It's a little bit heavy, but for that price, man, that's a solid setup, dude. That's a solid setup. Vandalay says, Ephesians. This is now the Bible reading stream, which is fine. Ephesians 6:4. Fathers, do not... sorry, let me find a real translation. I don't know why it does these ones. Here we go. And you, fathers, do not provoke your children to wrath, but bring them up in the training and admonition of the Lord. Indeed. Indeed. Thank you, Art Vandalay. Josh for 5 says, last birthday, she got you a new sweater. Put it on, give her a kiss, and tell her to do better. True. True. I'll have to do that. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate it, man. Deer Hunter for 2 says, Revelation 14:11. Did I type that in? Oh, I didn't. That's why. 14.
Right now, Bible maxing chat.
Yeah. All right, here we go. And the smoke of their torment ascends forever and ever, and they have no rest day or night who worship the beast and his image, and whoever receives the mark of his name. Referring to hell there. Thank you, Deer Hunter. I appreciate that, man. Castigear, 48 for 2, says, their butts will meet the broom handle. Referring to prison justice, which is a little bit more visceral than the American justice system. Acclimator, 23 for 5, says, first time catching one of these live. Well, hey, we appreciate it, man. Glad to have you here. Prepping for nationals this weekend and watching from the gun bench. Remember to dry fire 18 hours a day. Basically, yeah. You try and get a couple sessions in a day. I have a match tomorrow. I have a match Saturday. And then I have Area 3 Champ on next Friday, Saturday. So that'll be fun. But hey, good luck at Nats, man. Justin Space Cowboy for 5 says, Richard, NRA, check Discord. All right, you want it, Richard?
I will check.
Okay, perfect.
He's on
And
it.
then last one for now over on Ko-Fi. Gideon Young for $10. Thank you very much. That was very generous of you. He says, can't make the stream. Need to wake up early morning to go rucking with the boys. Well, that is very based. You should consider changing your streaming schedule to accommodate for me, or else I will send an antithesis and antithesis to your house with a surprise. Love you, Christ is King. Oh, thanks, Gideon. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate the kind words and the mildly intimidating threats. Sabardic Psycho for 5 says, I volunteer to carry out the execution with my Glock 29. I need to test my carry ammo's ballistic performance on twinks. You never know. Yeah. You never know when you need to know, how does this thing actually perform?
The best way
All
to
right.
find out.
Well, never let a good tragedy go to waste. And here is our favorite Valhallan, our favorite Aryan brother, Kash Patel, when asked about a potential assault weapons ban, which is mega gay.
So my first question is on the assault weapon ban. Do you think that would be helpful in reducing gun deaths, Director?
Senator, I think there are instances on this legislation that could prevent future attacks, but I'm not going to weigh into the creation of legislation.
So the real simple answer is, if you're ostensibly in the Republican Party, ostensibly on the right, part of Trump's administration, is just to say, no, that's not really what we're doing here, and we think that there are other steps we can do to mitigate violence in the future. Right. The really simple answer is just to say, no, it's a much bigger issue than just that. Right. Instead of caving and being like, oh, well, there are instances where it could prevent future attacks. Yeah, just big oops. Don't do that. Please stop. Please stop saying things. Honestly, Cash, you can be the head of the FBI or whatever it is, but maybe you should have a dedicated spokesperson. You need to have your own press secretary, and they do all of the interviews and all of the committee hearings and stuff like that. Okay, we're gonna delegate that to somebody else. That would probably be wise. But we're not done with psychos. Bones and Richard, are you guys familiar with National Rifle Association? Okay, that's actually kind of cute. That's pretty cute. That's pretty cute. Are you guys familiar with one Stephen Bunnell, also known as Destiny?
Destiny?
Is that Twitch streamer, right? Twitch streamer?
He's been banned off of Twitch for 5 years. But are you guys... Ooh. But do you know him? Have you heard of any of his takes before?
I've heard
do you just know
him.
I've heard things, accusations, and...
Well, no, most of it's confirmed, but I don't think you need to accuse them of anything. So currently, he is in litigation about... Let me pull up this tab. So currently, Destiny, who's on screen right now, who we have a couple of choice clips from him, he's currently in active litigation for revenge porn and also soliciting CSAM from a minor, from a 17-year-old girl. So those are two active, ongoing litigations that he's involved in. Now, he hasn't been convicted of anything, of course, but that's the type of person he is. He's also a outspoken cuck, literally, and he enjoys sharing his wife, who ended up leaving him, he has a child who hates him and he disowns, and his child is more of the Nick Fuentes types, which is quite funny considering he is this is the bravest, strongest man, the strongest debater the left has to offer. And let's listen to him try to have some basic human empathy here. And also you'll notice the jaw doing its thing while he's talking. It's a common tick of, you know, meth or speed or whatever else it might be, but he's got it real bad.
Probably Adderall.
How about your parents? If they get their brains blown out at a rally, would you have the same attitude? They are democracy-hating insurrectionists, after all. One, you permaban for asking a stupid question, because the obvious answer, two, is, listen, they're adults. They make their own fucking decisions. If you want to support an insurrectionist president, then whatever comes of that that's your consequences. Again, it's not a fucking joke. My mom is an immigrant to the United States of America. She was 5 years old. Her parents worked really hard to get her here. She served for 20 years in the Air Force, along with my dad. They know exactly what they're doing. They should know exactly what they're supporting. It was my mom that, you know, ranted at me for over a decade about how evil the USSR and Putin and all the Chi-coms and all that shit. So whatever, you know, if they go to a rally and they whatever the fuck, it's less end of life cost for me to deal with. It's on them. That's their decision.
So if your mom or dad gets shot at a rally, because this was after he was celebrating the death of the fireman at the Pennsylvania Trump rally, right? Because the only death there was, other than the shooter, was of course the fireman behind Trump that got shot with a stray bullet. And Stephen was, of course, celebrating that death. And then somebody responds, well, how would you feel if that was one of your parents at a Trump rally? And his essential response is, well, if they do die, that's their own decision. They knew what they were getting into. And also that would lower my end of life care costs for my mother and father. Nice.
What do you even say,
Nice.
brother?
Nice, Destiny. And so this is like, yeah, trying to explain humanity to a psychopath is a lost cause. But then just below this, I had never seen this before, but this is the manic, like, monster that Destiny is.
Oh, I did troll the shit out of the DDoS kid.
Oh shit, can we?
That's a guy, that's one of the people, like, legitimately, like, you have no, like, it's actually kind of scary, like, how close I was to getting people together to go down to his house and kill him and his family. Or it would have just been him and his father. Because I didn't know anything about it. Dude, that was some of the most fucked up shit in my entire life. I was so fucking close to doing it. But I was making so much money on Twitch, and I don't know if Nathan was involved in yet, but for whatever reason, I decided that the current life I had wasn't worth the risk of... Oh my god. Oh my god, I was so close to this fucking address. I had fucking streets mapped out and fucking you have no fucking idea. That's when I first started getting an interest in, like, owning a weapon. I got permits to own a gun and everything. Holy Oh, I did troll the shit out of the DDoS kid. That's a guy, that's one of the people, like, legitimately, like, you have no, like, it's actually kind of scary, like, how close I was to getting people together to go down to his house and kill him and his family.
Normal people don't say things like that.
So correct me if I'm wrong here, so I'm understanding. Someone hit him with a DDoS attack on his website, and he was so outraged that he got their information and wanted to track them down and murder them.
Get a bunch of people together to go to his house and kill him and his family.
Wow.
Because he figured out it was him and his father living in this house, and he was going to get a bunch of his guys together and go there and kill him and his family. He plotted streets and he had everything worked out, but the only thing that held him back wasn't like humanity. It wasn't like, no, this is the wrong thing. Correct. He was like, oh, well, you know, I could murder this guy and his family, but I'm just making so much money right now.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyways, this is the left's greatest debater. This is their strongest defender. And as far as I'm concerned, they can keep him. How about that?
That's okay. You can keep him.
He's this your guy? This your guy?
I would prefer they do something else with him, but
It feels a little fake and gay. Gotta tell you guys, it feels a little fake and gay, and there will be no fakeness and no gayness.
Thank you for the 2, Zephon. I can't read that out, but it is quite funny. Thank you, Zephon. All right. Okay. Hey, well, speaking about unfunny jokes, hey, do you have the applause handy there, Richard, or the laugh track handy?
I believe
Ah, there we go. All right. Yeah. All right. Jimmy Kimmel Live suspended indefinitely after host Charlie Kirk comments. ABC says late night show will not air for the foreseeable future after Kimmel accused Republicans of doing everything they can to score political points from Kirk's killing. ABC's decision to suspend Kimmel came just minutes after one of the biggest owners of TV stations in the U.S., Nexstar Media, announced it would preempt any episodes of Jimmy Kimmel Live set to air on the stations it owns across the country due to his comments. Nexstar's owned and partner. That's getting old. Don't do it anymore. Nexstar owned, and I hate that that's the timing for all of these like late night shows and whatnot. It's like 2 sentences, a theoretical punchline, laugh track, or the audience is like, that's so funny. But anyways, Nexstar, after his comments, actually no, I don't want to watch the whole thing. Can I get the short version of it? I think I put it somewhere around here. Give me a second. I'll find it. I just want the minute-long statement that he made, which essentially is just him saying, here we go. I can just put it right here. Okay.
We had some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between.
So smearing the right or conservatives for painting the murderer as anything else other than one of them, when he was like quite literally a gay, what's the right word? Gay, not a leftist, a
twink
gay.
lover.
Okay, so yeah, he's a gay, transgender, loving, furry. Would it be fair to consider him Antifa? Because he was in some of those discords, or no?
I would say yeah.
Adjacent, at least. Antifa,
Yeah,
adjacent.
Antifa adjacent. So yeah, definitely MAGA Republican. Definitely that. And so his comments right here.
We had some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
Oh yeah, and then he takes a clip of Trump saying something about the building on the White House, and it's like, look how sad he is, obviously trying to like poke fun at him or whatnot. Now listen, what Jimmy Kimmel said here is nowhere near as egregious as millions of other people have said, like rest in piss, I'm glad you're dead, making, t-shirts and profiting off of the death of Charlie Kirk and, destroying his murals, destroying some of the vigils or trying to interrupt, like dancing on his grave, stuff like that. Nowhere near as bad as any of those people, but it is just another stuck up, disconnected multi-millionaire talking down to the average American and being like, those conservative retards, one of their own killed one of their own, they're trying to blame us, but we're so morally superior over here on whatever platform that I happen to be on within my mansion with my private security. Those lowly people just don't know what's really going on. Well, congratulations. Maybe you need to find a new job. Oops. Indefinitely pulled from the air. Yeah, so congratulations, I guess.
Well, I'm sure he'll always have a promising career of telling large-breasted women to jump up and down on trampolines.
Mm-hmm. So before Nexstar took action, the FCC chair Brendan Carr had urged local broadcasters to stop airing the show. They were saying they were running the possibility of fines or license revocation from the FCC. So because of his comments. Now, again, his comments didn't seem that aggressive to me, He's just lying, but they always lie, so that's not that much out of the ordinary. If they continue to run content that ends up being a pattern of news distortion, which again, so what they're saying is essentially Mr. Kimmel propagating this just obviously false lie that somehow this, again, transgender loving, gay, furry, Antifa schizo was somehow a right-wing actor, which is just an out-and-out lie. If you keep saying that, that's a news distortion, because I guess for a broadcast license, it's a little bit different. Like, you're not allowed to, like, knowingly broadcast lies or distort the news intentionally. So under that clause, they can technically go after some of these people for saying certain things on the air. You're always entitled to your opinion on a lot of things, at least most of the time, but you can't just outright distort the truth, even though, again, you could argue that they always do anyways. But this sort of clause is very intermittently applied, so you can basically get away with anything unless it gets too much attention, unless it gets too much pushback, which obviously did.
So, from my understanding of this, and I, again, am no lawyer, the law on it is extremely convoluted, but the FCC regulations only apply to licensed broadcasting, right? They do not apply to like anything that he might say or do on his own show on, say, YouTube or a stream or something.
Well, right, because they're a syndicated, like, network, right?
Correct.
So on a private YouTube channel, I could say that actually Tyler Robinson is one of the gray aliens, and he appeared to me in a dream last night, and he beamed me up to his spaceship and told me about the plan. Okay, the aliens are coming. I can say all those things, but again, they'll say wacky things online all the time or on their networks all the time, but it's only if they get enough pushback, if it gets enough negative attention, that the FCC will actually do something about it.
People were saying in chat it was a way to just get him out because his ratings sucked and all that.
Yeah,
well,
of course.
A lot of the late night has sucked for a long time, and they have kind of been cratering. I think, what was it? Who's the other guy that got canned?
Stephen Colbert.
Stephen Colbert, yes. So Stephen Colbert got off the air, and he had like a retirement or whatnot, but it was because his network, the ratings had just been falling for the last like 8 years, like very steadily. And they were paying for that show like $50 million a year, $100 million a year. For
Well, they
all
had
the
like
production
19
costs.
writers, and
Oh yeah. No, it's
the
a joke.
cast was just massive, massive.
And so after a while, they're like, and they tried to politicize that as well, saying that that's just the network trying to like buy favor with Trump because Stephen went after Trump or whatnot. I mean, there's probably some backdoor politics going on, literally and figuratively, but it's all gay news propaganda. You guys don't watch the news anyways. I just thought it was funny.
You're right about that. I haven't watched the news in a very long time, so I feel very out of touch, but that is kind of funny. You got pee-pee slapped for that. It's a little silly.
I find it funny to see the contrast between Jimmy Kimmel now and Adam Carolla now versus the two of them used to be co-hosts and best friends back when the Man Show was running. And now they're complete and polar opposites.
Yeah, people don't like it when the funny man talks politics. Usually not a very popular move.
Well, yeah, especially when it's just so obviously tilted one way, right? Which is why I think South Park gets away with it for so long, is because they tend to punch both ways. Not fairly, but they tend to punch both ways, and they'll make fun of anybody.
So Comedy Central pulled the South Park episode
For Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, they also pulled a previous one, if I'm not mistaken.
For Charlie Kirk, which, yeah, we don't need to talk about that. Genosian for 3 says, I love garlic bread. Well, thank you for the update. Appreciate it, man. Pinochet for 10 on Ko-Fi says, bruh, I remember Destiny from Internet Blood Sports. He was on many a debate defending peds and saying CP should be legal. Yes, that is the morality of Mr. Stephen Bonnell. No matter where he goes, this is how I contextualize him. From the very beginning of his commentary career, and yes, he abuses the shit out of Adderall. You can tell that he is tweaking out just non-stop all the time, 24/7. Man's a monster. Bastion Cash for 5 says, have you tried the Black Label bipod on ARs? I have one on my MDR. It's great, but not sure if it's a side grade from my Geisley 13.5 Super Modular Rail Mark 18. So the reason, if you're not familiar with the Black Label bipod, it is essentially integrated into the rail. So the only issue I have with it is that I don't always want a bipod. I don't always need a bipod. So for me, it's easier to take a bipod on and off when I want it versus it always being integrated into the handguard. Now, the bipod itself is pretty slick. It looks nice, and I think that it's got pretty decent reviews. But for me, bipods are very contextual, so I wouldn't put it on like my daily rifle. But maybe on an SPR, maybe you would want something like that.
On the
so
MDR,
depending
I
on
think
your
it makes
application.
sense.
And on the MDR, it probably makes sense too, because you're a bullpup in your limited space, and you're already heavy. Thank you, Bastion. Boy Anderson for 2 says, Granddaddy drank heavy and Daddy drank light. I think, is that just a reference to, like, people, if you grow up with an alcoholic father, you're probably less likely to be an alcoholic yourself or something? Like, you see that behavior and you want to turn away from it. Twinkletter from another 5 says, I'm also building a Gary Gordon clone. Can you let me know what the accurate suppressor was used so I can try and get one ordered? Thanks. Isn't that the Overbore, the Ames 5?
Ames 5, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Gary, I think you're just trolling me, but the Gary clones, the Gordon clones, they've been done a million times. That was cool in 2018, okay, bro? Thank you, Twinkletter. Negative 30-degree nightmare for 2 says, Ephesians 5:11.
Yeah, you can hit up admin results for your retro builds. He's got all
Right.
that nailed down.
And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them. Yes, we've been using that verse a lot lately. Thank you, Negative 30-degree nightmare. Just some space cowboy for 2 says, he's not a son of Yakub. Opinion retracted. Indeed, yes. Ziphon for his Nigelations 420. Candace Owens is a snack. Zanico for 5 says, my first match since switching from the 320 to the Glock 34 is USPSA sectionals in 2 weeks. Wish me luck. God bless. Well, hey, Zanico, good luck with your G34. You might not perform quite as well with a new platform, but you have a lower chance of blowing your balls off. So I think the trade-off there is worth it personally. Zephon for 2 says he's a twink lover, just like Richard. Fault line penalty, which is a great penalty, for 2 says, Jimmy got soft hands. He's C-class USPSA. God bless Israel. How about God bless the USA, huh? How about that? Thank you, fault line penalty. Moonman for 5 says, late. Richard is old for knowing what the man show is. Also, what did I miss? Just pretend I have already sent several actionable threats. Okay. All right. Well, here's your, Moonman, here is your 60-second recap, okay? Trigicon makes a green dot now after 10 years. A couple memes. Father should be active in their son's life and not let them get into terrible communities. The text message threads between the gay transgender lover boys admitting to every single facet of the crime. We went over those in detail, and we have those all pulled up here. George Zinn, also a pedophile, as well as a provocateur and distractor, and he's held on 4 counts of CSAM and felony obstruction. And then we have Kash Patel advocating, or at least saying that there are possible benefits to assault weapon bans. And then we have Jimmy Kimmel canceled. His show is taken off the air indefinitely. And now, for the main event of the evening, it's the Anti-Thesis Franklin Armory.
Whoa.
Which is, it looks like a normal AR, but let me tell you, this is no normal AR. This is not a pistol. This is not an SBR. This is not a rifle. This is a firearm transferred on a 4473. Has a stock, barrel ranges between 7 and 12 inches, and it is rifled. Unlike their older Reformation, which was a straight rifling, so not rifled at all, just had straight lands and grooves down the bore. That is also not a rifle, not a pistol, not an SBR, because it is essentially a smoothbore, right? So what happens when the bullets fly out of the barrel on the Reformation is that they just turn sideways and start tumbling. So it's accurate inside of about 25 yards, but personally not all that useful. Some people say, oh, well, it's great for self-defense or it's great in banned states. I think all that is silly nonsense. The Anti-Thesis, however, is rifled. So it works like a normal AR. But you see, they were able to convince an ATF field office and a judge to sign off on the fact that the Anti-Thesis is designed to be fired with more than one projectile. Because of that, it does not meet the legal definition of a rifle or a pistol, and therefore a short-barreled rifle as well, meaning that it is a firearm even with rifling. Now, here we have a very long video explaining how the Franklin Armory Anti-Thesis breaks from the NFA shackles. It is a very interesting video. It's very slow, so we're going to speed it up because this gentleman speaks quite slow. But he goes over how they were able to convince a judge in an ATF field office that this is not a rifle, not a pistol, and therefore not an SBR, and therefore you can have a 12-inch rifled firearm that shoots 5.56 normally because it's designed to be fired with more than one projectile.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
For 91 years, America has lived with the National Firearms Act and the definitions for short-barrel firearms. Likewise, we've had the Gun Control Act for 57 years, and it too has definitions for short-barreled firearms. It took 8 years, 19 motions, 2 district judges, 2 mandates, and more than $1 million in legal expenses to change the status quo.
No, it's not even an AOW. It is a firearm. It's just a firearm. No tax stamp, no nothing. And the funny thing is that it's like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, guys. It's a regular gun that somehow a judge and an ATF field office signed off on that it's not a rifle or pistol.
So basically,
we're gonna get into
throwing a CMMG. Okay.
Nope.
Today we are pleased to introduce Anti-Thesis, a new class of shoulder-fired firearms.
I didn't realize that he held it here. Let me pull him off.
Franklin Armory, featuring a rifle barrel less than 16 inches that is completely free and clear from any NFA regulations whatsoever. We are now shipping 6 variations of Anti-Thesis chambered in 5.56 NATO with rifle barrel lengths ranging from 7.5 inches up to 12.5 inches. And no matter which barrel length you prefer, Anti-Thesis is not an NFA firearm, period. So there's no need for a $200 tax stamp. There's no need for Form 4. There's no need for fingerprints to be taken and submitted. And there's no need to notify ATF.
Front Toward Enemy says, it's jailbait. It sounds like jailbait. We're going to get into it, but it frickin' sounds like jailbait. Just because an ATF field office signed off on it and sent you a letter means nothing. Means absolutely nothing. Because one judge said that this appears to not be a rifle or pistol and therefore an SBR is not very comforting when, again, we could have a single administration change and they could be like, actually, that's an SBR and you have constructive intent by owning that. You get to go to jail and lose your gun rights forever. But we'll get into his reasoning.
Every time you decide to cross state lines. And most importantly, the government won't have your name on a registration list with your firearm serial number. Anti-Thesis simply transfers on a 4473, and that is it. The biggest irony of what Franklin Armory has achieved is that we, as Americans, have been living under these laws for so long that at first it may be hard to believe that the shackles have been removed. Try to keep an open mind. Study what we will detail here. Review our sources, and you will realize how profound these changes really are.
It is not profound. It is not groundbreaking. It's so funny. And I'm about to show you because I have the trick. I have the trick in a minute. Okay, gentlemen, don't worry. Don't worry. It's totally not just a gimmick that's not going to hold up in court. I have it.
You may recall that the NFA and GCA define a rifle as a shoulder-fired firearm that fires only a single projectile through a rifled bore. We did not pick the words only and single. Congress did. As facilitators of freedom, we just used their words to your benefit. The patent-pending Anti-Thesis is intended to fire traditional single-piece projectiles, and it also is intended to fire multi-piece projectile assemblies through a rifled bore. Unfortunately, at least at the time we originally submitted, prior ATF management mistakenly misclassified Anti-Thesis. So we fought back. We held ATF accountable in court, and we won. The words only and single in the definition of a rifle in both the NFA and GCA were not lost on the federal judge who ruled in our favor. He said, Franklin Armory designed the Anti-Thesis to fire multiple kinds of ammunition.
So again, this is the ruling from Federal District Court Judge Daniel M. Traynor in Frack v. Garland. Franklin Armory designed the Anti-Thesis, which is this rifle system, this firearm system, to fire multiple kinds of ammunition, which is very important. And why you could use this rule to get rid of all NFA restrictions, because things like rat shot exist for all pistol calibers. I'm sure you could find 5.56 or even sabos or anything that has multiple projectiles. And if this holds up, then the NFA or the SBRs and AOWs, all that is gone if this actually holds up. Because a firearm can be designed, all firearms are designed, all rifles are designed to fire multiple projectiles. Because you can put sabos. The Ukrainian, or was it the Russian military, just developed a 5.45 by 39 projectile that has multiple projectiles inside for drone defense. And because it can now, these are designed to fire multiple projectiles, not just one, they no longer meet the definition of a rifle or a pistol, and therefore bypass SBR limits, right? If this actually holds up.
It can also be turned around and used against them and say, haha, that's just the definition of a shotgun. Now you have a short barrel shotgun.
Well, that's another. Well, no, but it's rifled. So it can't be a shotgun because it's rifled.
Yeah, no, it's not like a rifled shotgun exists.
I'd have to figure out the distinction between those two.
The weapon does not fire only a single projectile.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I mean, if you buy a rifled shotgun from a gun store, do they sell it to you as a rifle or do they sell it to you as a shotgun?
It's sold to you as a shotgun because that's what's on the registration paperwork itself from the manufacturer.
But the manufacturer of this would just call it a firearm, right?
Correct, but
a shotgun company could call it a rifle if they wanted to, because it'd just be an 18.5-inch rifle, right?
Well, they also are sold as firearms as well. That's where it gets a little funky, is because things like the Shockwave and the Remington made one, the TAC 13, I think was the name of it, which are interesting if you consider the fact that you can put a pistol grip and pistol brace on those and effectively have a usable firearm. But with those bird's head grip, they're not usable. And this is
so according to, we're gonna listen to it, but this, I am sketched out by it. I
don't trust multiple projectiles is not incidental or a byproduct. The Anti-Thesis is a square peg, and calling it round will not change how it fits into the round hole of these statutes. Therefore, ATF exceeded its authority by not giving the plain meaning to the words of the statute. Our federal court victory established two critical truths. First, the Anti-Thesis firearms manufactured by Franklin Armory are unambiguously designed and intended to not fire only a single projectile, and hence cannot be a rifle under the plainly worded statute.
Now, what they are trying to say here is that we at Franklin Armory have designed our rifle to shoot these. And these are the Anti-Thesis multiple projectile assemblies. They have designed their rifles to fit these projectiles, which are standard 224 diameter projectiles with multiple projectiles, essentially, right? So calling them a projectile doesn't make sense. They're projectiles, which are meant to be fired at the same time. So these you can take and then load into your brass cases, right? Load them up. They're 40 grains, and I don't know if there's like steel balls or what's on the inside there, but these are essentially like mini shotgun shells.
I believe they put .177 BBs in them.
Whatever it happens to be, right? But so they're saying that our guns we designed to work with our multiple projectile ammunition, which means that it is not a rifle. Now, the flip side of that is it works with normal ammunition too. But it was designed to work with ours, our patent pending ammunition that they're going to license out to everybody, which means that, let's say PSA can also design their rifles to work with this patented ammunition, but they would also, of course, be able to use regular ammunition as well. So if this actually holds up, all you have to do is buy a license from Franklin Armory to design your rifles to work with their projectiles, and then the byproduct is that they also work with regular 5.56.
I love that for them. They looked and copied Russia's homework where they're like, "Hey Russia, can we borrow that sleeve of BBs? Yeah, just don't make it obvious."
Yeah, well, yeah. So specific. It's a 224 bullet, 40 grains, nickel plated lead. Do not use it with suppressors or muzzle brakes. Yes, please do not do that. Gently seat the projectile assembly into casings. So that's what they're saying. They're saying our gun is designed to work with our multiple projectiles, and we specifically designed it to do so. Now, the byproduct of that is that it also works with regular 5.56, right? So, like, I can buy that here in South Dakota and not use it as an SBR. Now, can I rebarrel it? Does that change it? Because let's say I buy a 12.5 and I put in a Roscoe 11.5 or a Roscoe 12.5 or whatever it happens to be. Does that change the classification?
No, the firearm is still the same.
Right, but if I have modified it to no longer be able to accept those projectiles.
But it can still accept those projectiles, and it still does accept those projectiles.
Well, but are we sure about that, though? Because on the ones that they've shown, I think they all have pistol-length gas systems, and they might have done something funky to actually get them to work with those plastic shells, right, to actually cycle them.
They're probably, yeah, they probably don't have the necessary dwell time and pressure.
Well, no, so I understand that the upper is not the firearm, right? I sell uppers, right? I of course understand that. But if I buy their lower, can I just slap whatever the heck upper I want onto it and I'm honky-dory with their lower receiver? Because are we saying the lower receiver is designed to work with that ammo? And I'm just here asking questions. If all of this is true, cool. I'm just asking questions because it's a little sketchy.
Well, all lower receivers are firearms.
Right, but then it's dictated what's on top of them, whether they're a rifle, pistol, or SBR, right? So that's what I'm saying. If I buy their low receiver, but I put on a 20-inch upper, it's no longer a firearm at that point. It's a rifle, right? Because you can switch a pistol to a rifle, but you can't do it the other way. To switch a rifle to a pistol, you have to SBR it.
But I don't think
so. I can't put a 16-inch upper on it, fill myself with it, and then the next day put on an 11.5 upper on it because that would change the classification. See, that's the thing. It is so murky and fuzzy that I kind of think it's a Fed trap. And I'm somebody...
That's bait.
I'm trying to see if you are, because it's considered a firearm. It's not a rifle, not a pistol, not a shotgun, right? So what are you allowed to do legally with a firearm? Like, what modifications are you allowed to do? That's what I'm trying to find.
So you can do vertical foregrips, you can do stocks, right? You can do anything on it that you can do with the other guns. You can go across state lines without having to notify that state that you're coming in with an NFA item, right? So there are advantages on it. And even with the $0 tax stamps, you still don't have to get fingerprinted, no Form 1, no Form 4, no extra waiting period, nothing like that, right? So there are still advantages to it. And this one, again, keep in mind, this is a regular rifled upper. This is not the Reformation, which is a straight bore, right? So it's technically, it's like a shotgun basically, but in the different lengths, so it's a firearm. This is a rifled upper receiver. That takes standard 5.56. However, is designed to be worked with their ammunition.
It's a bold strategy. Let's see how it pays off.
In the NFA and GCA. And second, whether an antithesis firearm is designed and intended to fire 45 long Colt and 410 bore, or a combination of any other single projectile, duplex round, or snake shot, the concept is transitive.
I need to listen to that part again.
Yeah.
It was trans?
Of any other single projectile, duplex round, or snake shot.
Here, I gotta go. I want to listen to what he says in full.
And GCA. And second, whether an antithesis firearm is designed and intended to fire 45 long Colt and 410 bore, or a combination of any other single projectile, duplex round, or snake shot, the concept is transitive. The firing of either single projectiles or multi-projectile assemblies is not incidental, and trying to classify antithesis as a rifle under either statute would exceed the ATF's authority. It is likewise important to note that the same legal victory also corrected the ATF's original misclassification of our other short-barreled Franklin Reformation. The Reformation firearm was submitted to ATF a couple of years before Anti-Thesis, with the expectation that it too could not be classified as a rifle or shotgun under either the NFA or GCA, as it incorporates straight cut lands and grooves instead of rifling.
Go for it.
I have a question for panel and chat. Is this what I sound like? This extremely robotic monotone.
Him on 1x sounds like you. When I listen to this, I put it on 2x. But I know it's probably a little too fast for chat. Probably a little too fast, but no, I'll go back and you can listen to him on 1x. He just talks just like this, and then like this, and then like this, and then like this.
Anti-Thesis, with the expectation that it too could not be classified as a rifle or shotgun under either the NFA or GCA, as it incorporates straight cut lands and grooves instead of rifling.
I'm sure this guy's a nice guy, but he sounds like Viggo Mortensen on Downers, bro.
Wow.
I am reading.
This patented design makes Reformation the ultimate home defense weapon, as it accurately delivers lethal force at close range while mitigating the risk.
And again, he's talking about the Reformation, which is a straight cut lands and grooves, which the rounds just come out and start going all funky because there's no spin to it at all. So they go through the target sideways, which I would like to see a what do you call it, a meat target test on something like that at like 25 yards. Well, but does it get enough penetration? Because we're all about the penetration over here, right?
It reaches enough to do some damage. It smacks sideways.
Yeah. Well, I know it obviously transfers all of the energy, right?
Immediately.
And again, inside of 25 yards, this probably is pretty nasty.
I mean, it's not about the penetration; it's about how you use it, guys.
I kind of want to. Maybe it would be fun to have one for like a meme gun, because I actually Boondock Ballistician. I don't know if you're here right now, but I need you to get a straight cut barrel and make some gel block videos and give your engineering opinion on the devastation that occurs when you do it. Okay.
Risk of over-penetration in populated environments. Since receiving the federal judge's ruling earlier this year, Reformation, classified as neither a rifle nor shotgun under either the NFA or GCA, has been back on the market and also transfers on a Form 4473 as a GCA-only firearm. Following President Trump's executive order directing DOJ to review and correct anti-Second Amendment actions and related abuses of power by
Now, what is quite funny about just to go back for a second, Trump's pro-Second Amendment executive order where he's like, guys, we need to look into all of the government overreaches of the Second Amendment, when he was the guy who did the bump stock ban. It's like, guys, we've got to investigate some of the people passing gun control. It totally wasn't me, which is quite funny.
The bump stock ban upped their business because people who had bump stocks decided, well, the binary triggers are still good for now.
Actually, you know who made the most money off of the bump stock ban and all of the binary trigger stuff is all of these. There are so many gun rights organizations that people donate to and collect so much money every year, and so little actually gets done. I'm pretty sure some of these businesses just collect checks, and that's all they do.
Andrew from ARFCOM did a really, really good video breaking down all of the money that each organization gets. And how
and where it goes.
Yes.
What are they actually spending it on?
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's a whole rabbit hole, dude.
It is.
Shoot, something else I was gonna say about it. Also, yeah, these are pretty expensive. I looked at the website. The base model without a binary trigger is about $1,200 for the 7 to 12 inch version, and then the binary trigger model is like $1,750. So these are like Geisley prices for these guys. Novel, neat, sketchy, but also a little spendy.
By previous administrations, we began negotiating a settlement that would officially codify the classifications of Anti-Thesis and Reformation simply as firearms under the GCA, and not regulated in any way whatsoever by the NFA. While we were confident of another victory on appeal, current leadership...
Novel to who? Novel to you, Mr. Federal Agent. You're going to have a field day with these people.
That both DOJ and ATF were proving to have more respect for legal principles than their predecessors. Instead of miring both...
Oh, also, so his point there about, yeah, this current administration is really good for business, and it's really cool to see that they're allowing us to do this. But in my head, right, I'm thinking forward a little bit because I'm a low time preference individual, right? I have some future-minded capabilities here, right? I'm thinking, well, what about the next administration that don't like those boys? What about that? You know, so you sell a couple thousand of these, and then your house gets raided in 2029 by the ATF, and they take your pesky client information, your customer information, and they start sending some letters around. Like if what is it? It's 2025 right now. Okay, if we get a Democrat. Sorry, my camera is tracking activated because I did something with my hands. I don't know which hand shape turns it on, but now it's doing it. Okay, so I'm going to monologue. All right, and then it turned off. I don't know why. But if a Democrat comes into power in 2029 with either the House or the Senate, my prediction is that they will go after these types of firearms, and you will be receiving a letter from these people to say, hey, you need to turn those bad boys in or get your pee-pee slapped in jail. Okay, I'm calling it now in 2025. It'll take 4 years for this to come true, but I'm calling it now. Sometime late 2028, early 2029, these guys will get a call from the ATF if a Democrat comes to power. Calling it now. Write it down.
I am really curious since they're talking about licensing this to everyone, if they are going to try to get people to make and buy as many of these as possible to when that happens, get them in common use law so that in theory it can't happen. I wonder if that is their goal with that.
Well, I would hope that common use does happen, but you're a novel, quote unquote, novel firearm for a high price. How many of these do you think you're going to sell? Unless everybody starts licensing this technology from you, I just don't see it becoming commonplace. It could, you never know, but I think that's
only
a slim
one
chance of
company
actually
has
happening.
to license it. Only one company has to license it.
PSA.
Nope.
Well, that's the thing.
CMMG is the only one who has to actually license it because they have the 22 conversions, which shoot multiple projectiles. There you go. Yeah, but the 22 conversion shoots multiple projectiles. You've got the rat shot, and then some of the duplex. What is the other ones? The Aguila 60 grain. Like they are quite literally designed to shoot different projectiles.
I think when it comes to common use, you need a quantity over quality, which PSA is fantastic at.
Both parties into an even longer, drawn-out legal battle, we believed accepting the settlement was in the best interest of Franklin Armory, the firearms industry as a whole, and the American people for the following 5 reasons. 1. The settlement applies nationwide. As we have seen with other cases, a win at the circuit level, in our case the 8th Circuit, might not apply nationwide and could be appealed or otherwise legally challenged by future administrations. Aiding in this nationwide application is the recent ATF open letter issued on August 29th, acknowledging Anti-Thesis and Reformation as GCA-only firearms. 2. The settlement officially codifies Anti-Thesis and Reformation as not regulated by the NFA, explicitly stating that they are not firearms under 26 U.S.C. Section 5845A, meaning they cannot be classified in any way under the NFA, period. 3. The settlement officially codifies Anti-Thesis and Reformation as being immune from critical parts of the GCA, namely that neither can be classified as short barrel shotguns under 18 U.S.C. Section 921A6 or short barrel rifles under Section 921A8, and neither can be subject to the requirements of 18 U.S.C. 920.
Again, so this guy seems very confident that this groundbreaking technology here will exempt his products from any and all legislation from the GCA and NFA, and that they should be immune to this sort of thing. I just don't buy it, because I think that even if they are technically, legally in the right, like technically right, I don't think that would stop a leftist ATF from going after you, from totally trying to wreck you. Yeah. So that is the Anti-Thesis.
They're fighting the fight. I mean, I give them props for that.
Good luck, my man. Good luck. And again, if we have just a regular shot of it right here, It's just a generic Franklin Armory. I think their ARs are like super generic. The only thing that they're even slightly famous for at all is their binary triggers. But I think this is a 7.5 inch version. They make it in a 7.5, 10.5, and 12.5 inch version. And again, ranging from about $1,200 to $1,700. I'm probably not going to get it, but some of you out there who do, I know Reno May was very interested in this. Very, very interested in it. And if he can get one in California, that would be very cool, right? Because if this could be a California option, I think that would be huge. However, again, for somebody like me who already has SBRs and suppressors, like, who cares, I guess. But again, if they're trying to go for the common use argument, trying to license it out, one, it could be very financially beneficial for them to license out their patented technology to all these other companies, PSA, well, Anderson's gone. I was going to try and name some other companies, but to get some more of these firearms, quote unquote, out there. Hello, camera. Thank you. If you could get some more of these firearms out there, and if they actually hold up in court, because somebody's going to have to bite the bullet. Somebody's going to go get brought up on this. Somebody's going to get arrested for a crime or for something else, right? And he's going to happen to have one of these guys in his possession, and some ATF office somewhere is going to be like, I think that's an SBR, and we're going to take him to court. Whether we can win or not, who cares? But we're going to take him to court. So it is quite literally going to take somebody to be the guinea pig for this. Especially if it's modified. Especially if it's modified. Like if somebody puts a different upper on this lower, like I think it's over. That's almost more sketchy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it ain't my fight. It's cool that they're doing some cool stuff for the firearms community, right? They're pushing the envelope. I get it, super based. Like AR pistols exist, man. I don't know. I don't like vertical foregrips anyway. So it's
but
cool.
You get a stock. You get a stock, bro.
Oh my god, a stock.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. The people have been pulled up for SBRs and gotten charged with having an SBR with a braced pistol, right? And it takes people going through that to actually get this stuff like done and dusted. So listen.
That sucks.
A retard cop, no offense to anybody out there that's a cop, some retard cop who pulls you over and sees this in the back of your seat, right? And is like, you got a paperwork for that stock? And you're like, actually, officer, this is called the Franklin Army Anti-Thesis, and it allows me to bypass all SBR laws. He's going to be like, very cool. Would you mind getting in the back of my car now? Right? Like, how is the average cop gonna know what this is your average boomer FUD RSO at your local range gonna know what this is? No. So cool if it works, and I am very excited to see how it plays out.
Yes, same here. Agreed on all parts.
Deer Hunter 713 becomes a new member. Heck yeah. Chud McGill for 2 says, how dare you, Glock 34 master race, pregnant black man emoji, many times, nasal decongestion, laughing, crying. Thank you, Chud. Bert for 5 says, Destiny, the left's greatest debater is a Zionist. Man, that's rich. While I like how Tripp nicely said, nah, to Candace being a snack. She's not my type. That's all. Okay, I'm sure she's a wonderful young lady, even though she's married to, like, Danish royalty or something, and then she defended one of the Tates who's like a pornographer, sex trafficker, cam girl. That's how he made his millions. So not very based, but yeah.
I thought he made his millions by talking to guys who thought he was a girl.
That too, yeah. Very awkward writing the messages for your cam girls. Little awkward there, Andrew. Gabriel Baker for 2 says, Candace Owens do be looking kind of literate though. And again, Andrew Tate's one of those guys who he also says a lot of the right things. But I just don't trust some of these people. Thank you. To be looking kind of literate. I think she is literate. Moonman for 5 says, this sounds like several of our God-fearing civil servants are simply out here effing with you and their boss all at once. Cool concept. Hope it works out for somebody. Gabriel Baker for 2 says, so buy the lower and run any upper? Question mark? Like BCM? Good luck with that. I hope it works for you. I'll be here to cover your arrest case and, try it. Well, we'll run fundraising for you. How about that, Gabriel? We'll do our best. Sheepherder for 5 says, Jay Jacobson is the spokesperson? Question mark. Days since Jewish tricks 0. Wait, would super chats not allow you to type out Jewish? You can just say Jewish. Julian for 5 says, too long, didn't read, look through all the legislation, litigation, and it's not going to be jailbait. Source, me after litigating pro se in several federal cases. Yeah, Julian's going to be making some money off of you guys. That's what's going to happen. Hope you're doing well, man. Moonman for 5 says, I should have been a lawyer. I could be trolling via paperwork instead of on some Ned Flanders ass dude stream. True. Yeah, look, just think, Moonman. I want you to take a good long look in the mirror and think about all of the life decisions that you made that led you here to this moment in time. Okay? Because I have to do the same thing every morning. So you should at least have to do the same. Oops, shoot, damn it. I lost Bert's chat. I got rid of it. Oh, no. Oh, no. How do I find it again? Bert, I disconnected your chat.
Well,
no,
you really
Bert.
are Ned Flanders in real life, aren't you?
Okay, here we go. I found it. Bert says, oh, shoot. Nope, that's not it. It's even further back. Oh, no, dude. This is tragic. This is tragic. How do I find it? Okay, Bert, I will get it. I'm sorry. Rad's Arms for 2 says, Franklin Armory is the Uncle Mike's of AR companies. Fair enough. Fair enough. No, you got to claim your liberty. Shop Antithesis. Thanks, Rad's Arms. Irish Soap for 2 says, the ATF hates this one simple trick. Just pretend that it was designed for something else. Fair enough, I suppose. Fair enough. Okay, I have to go all the way back in the YouTube dashboard to find the other one. Galussi Super 42, that's a good name, for $20. Thank you very much, sir. Says, funny he brings up square pegs and round holes, because if you buy this, you're definitely going to have your holes pegged in prison. Yeah, I kind of think the same there. Thank you, Galussi. I got that Galussi. Deer Hunter 713 for 5 says, sorry, can't stick around for the rest of the stream. Got work at 4 a.m. Well, hey, man, good luck and have a good night's sleep, dude. Recommendations on an SPR optic with a 30mm tube. God bless and have a good night, gents. Well, you have a good night and God bless you too, sir. 30mm main tube. Is the Athlon 2-12? Is that a 30mm main tube? If so, that might be a good option for you to look at.
I believe it is. Let me see.
Zephon for 2 says, Franklin Armory beat the SBR rule before Trump did. Okay, here we go. Bert for 2 says, best brand of headspace go/no-go gauges and wrench. Whatever one is in stock and not $500. I do hate it when companies try to charge you like $1,000 for very simple parts. It's nonsense. But thank you, Bert. I appreciate it. If you're talking about the Reformation, yeah, they kind of did. And what was that other gun? That other short-barreled shotgun that existed for like 2 weeks? Do you guys remember what that was, like a decade ago?
Was it by Franklin Armory?
Was it by Franklin Armory? It was a short thing that eventually got classified as a destructive device, I want to say, because it was like a 6-inch shotgun, semi-auto thingamajig.
Yeah, they had. They also sold a crazy drum with it as well.
Yeah.
And it came with a binary trigger.
Oh, okay. Galussi Super 42 for 5 says, Franklin Armory trying to pull the I'm not driving, I'm traveling on the ATF. Yeah. Pull the I'm just a traveler card on the local PD and see how that works.
I'm just a firearm.
You wouldn't hurt me. I'm just a firearm. Absolute Moonman for 5 says, this conversation is giving me an aneurysm. Play the Cope Seethe anime girls. Yeah, Moonman needs constant anime stimulation to keep awake. Everyday American for 5 says, SBRs are legal if you shut up about it. Yeah, very true. Mark for 5 says...
That was the Origin 12. That was actually by different company. Sorry.
Okay, Origin 12. All right. Yeah, I knew it was something. Mark for 5 says it needs to come with a lifetime legal assistance. Yeah, cops and DAs tend to charge first and ask questions later. Yeah, imagine trying to explain to your arresting police officer that no, you don't understand. Here, I can show you this YouTube video where this guy explains it in detail why this is not an SBR. You think the cops is just gonna like stop what he's doing? Like, no. Thank you, Mark. Bright Eye Security for 2 says Antifa are free targets now. Ooh, all right. Well, I wonder if Trump also said something in like 2017, like we should designate Antifa as a terrorist organization, and then he said the exact same thing like 2 days ago, and it's like, well, you could, probably won't though. Moonman for 5. The guy with Jap letters, give us your Type 89s if you don't need them anymore. We will totally just give you aircraft carriers again in exchange. Type 89. There's some cool World War II firearms I'd like to get my hands on. Bert became a YouTube channel member. Hey, congratulations, Bert. If you're not on the Discord, you should be. And if you are on the Discord, you should be in the VIP area where cool people hang out. Which is, just slightly more exclusive and less degenerate than the regular chat, but not much less degenerate.
And yes, you were right. The Athlon Helos 2-12 is a 30mm tube.
Okay. Dr. Fuzzy for 5 says, not gonna lie, I still don't understand how this thing is different. Does it mean we can put stocks on and scopes on 357 Magnums because they shoot snake shot? Well, I think Franklin is trying to make the argument that they intentionally designed it to fire multiple projectiles. Not that it can, but that it is designed to, right? So there's a difference. Most ARs are designed to fire standard 5.56, but they can fire some of these other projectiles as well. The Franklin Armory is designed to fire multiple projectiles with their patented technology, but can, of course, also fire regular projectiles. So again, it's wordplay. And do you want to try and play words with the federal government when, 10 years and millions of dollars are on the line as you as the individual? Like, I personally don't.
After you get done with Super Chats, if you'd like to take a look at the actual documentation from the ATF, I put it in the private chat.
Okay. Moonman for 2 says, this dude is such an effing nerd. Well, I mean, he's trying to profit off it, so I get going in depth. Bert for 5 says, I guess we're slowly creeping back to a pure 2A state, and this is the antithesis. I'll see myself out. Indeed. I think this is what the founding fathers had in mind. I think them looking at that extra half-inch of barrel, they'd be like, yeah, you should definitely be in jail if you have a 15.5-inch rifle or something like that. Thank you, Bert.
For sure.
Galussi Super 42 for $20 says, Squibs make all my unregistered SBRs totally legit. Indeed.
Big brain move. I didn't think about that when you said license it to PSA.
Actually, if you tell that to the next ATF agent you run in, and I'm pretty sure this is what you get for that. No.
Well, with that AAC ammo.
Oh, dude, that's honestly, if it's designed to take AAC ammo, it should count as multiple projectiles. Just Some Space Cowboy for 2 says, test if YouTube will let me say Philippinks in a super chat. Is Philippinks, is that a new slur? Because it's Filipino, but Filipino X, like all the Filipinos. So Philippinks. What's up, my Philippinks? Logan Sucks at Shooting for 2 says, did my camera take over your camera? I think it's working. Yeah, it's like kind of working. Everyday American for 5 says, braces are just as good as stocks, and those who disagree are dumb. I think braces get around a lot of the rules, dude. And they have actual legal backing behind them as well. Whereas these don't.
Not braces, bicycle grips. If you know, you know.
Moonman for $5 says, can't imagine going to the range with an RSO for anything other than a qual. Horrific. Do not talk to me, Cletus. How dare you attempt to speak with me? Hey, I'm gonna change the GIF that pops up when somebody donates on Ko-Fi. What should I change it to real fast?
I
think somebody wanted the dance. Racist wife. Well, it has to be on Ko-Fi, or not on Ko-Fi, on Tenor. Dancing cat. I think Josh wanted the dancing cat earlier. Here we go. All right. This is the one that he wanted. Oh, it cuts out the whole. Ah, that's so lame. I'll have to fix that. Kind of cute though. Thank you, Moonman. Blood-based says absolutely nothing for $10, but thank you very much, sir. Greatly appreciate it, man. Hope you're having a good night. Boy Anderson for 5 says, "Vindicate me, O Lord, defend my cause against a wicked people, and deliver me, O from the deceitful, unjust man." Psalm 43, Brian Suave. Or is it Save? Thank you for that, Boy Anderson. I appreciate it, man. Ray Polocost for 2 says, if I was a Franklin Fig, I would 41% myself. All right, Mr. Polocost. 7 Industries for 5 says, so if it was this easy, why haven't anyone making a 22 done the same thing, since they all have that weird specialty ammo? I'm lost. Listen, if this works, then everybody is just going to say the same thing. We designed our gun to take 22 rat shot. We designed our gun to take, if you have a 9mm PCC, to take 9mm rat shot, or whatever it might be. So we designed our gun to take multiple projectiles. And then if they say that, if this technically works, then until Congress passes a new law, it's going to stand, which is interesting. Moonman for 2 says, oh boy, I would show this entire stream instead. Indeed. Thank you, Moonman. Moonman for another 2 says, the Type 89 came out when, Richard was born. He's not that old. Moonman for 2 says, test if YouTube will let me say Niger X in a super chat. It does. You can say Niger X. Galussi Super 42 for 2 says, Ziggers. It's Ziggers, right? You can say Ziggers.
No.
My Z's and my Ziggers. Z-Ziggers.
Well, if it's Asian,
we
or,
must get
Chinese,
rid of the ziggers in our super chats. Thank you, Galussi. Boy Edison for 2 says, okay, maybe should we talk about Ben Steger? Ben Steger, he got who was it? Practical Shooting Insights was pious posting on Instagram because he was calling out Ben because Ben used the N-word back in 2020. Can you imagine? Ben said the N-word in 2020. You should stop doing business with somebody because they typed out the horrific, evil N-word in 2020.
What's up?
Let me check my watch.
My Siggers.
Let me check my watch. That was 5 years ago, dude. If you're bent out of shape over a silly little word in a rambling schizo post from 2020, dude, I think you have bigger problems to deal with.
Well, I think in 2020 there was probably bigger problems to deal with.
Yeah, also
probably
that. Also
use
that
of the word,
too.
But
dude, I need that song. If I could play this song without getting copyright struck, prison gaped, as they would say. Boy Anderson for 2 says, home, I'm 6 feet from the edge and I'm thinking. Yeah, thank you, Boy Anderson. Chud McGill, I dislike them. Niger's 6. Change a Ko-Fi gift to Gassy. No, not happening. Thank you, Chud. Rad's Arms for 2 says, fleshlight on a buffer tube better than a brace. Multi-purpose. Thank you, Rad's Arms. It's actually just practice for when the ATF gets their hands on you. Everyday American for 5 says, when it comes to metal mags, aluminum or steel, which brands are best? Duramag or someone else? Duramag. Don't buy the Geisley $60 mags. Remember when Geisley tried to, speaking of Galussi, you guys remember when Geisley tried to, I think they were trying to charge $100 for their
for Duramags that were just laser engraved.
They were cage-coated Duramags.
Yep.
That they tried to sell,
and they got called out immediately.
Instantly, hey, what are you doing? Don't you think that's kind of scummy? And Bill's like, no. It's like, what are you talking about? Yeah, so don't do that.
No,
I have a couple of ASC
Duramax
mags and C products.
ASCs are okay. I have some Korean mags that you actually, the white ones behind me that you spray painted or Cerakoted for me. They're still holding up fine, but the mags aren't good. Philippinx is like Latinx. Philippinx and Latinx. All right, fair enough. More slurs added to my vocabulary. Oh, gosh dang it. Now we're just doing slurs. Eskimox and injunks. All right, thank you, Subarctic Psycho. No one you know it for 2 says 999. They're just words, Juden. Indeed, thank you for 2. Moonman for 2 says, I'm out here saying it now to my coworkers. There you go. Say it now. Say it loud and proud, you Philippines. And then over on Ko-Fi, let me pull this up. Do I have to get the Franklin lawyers on speed dial to explain the whole thing to the nice policeman? Yeah, probably would not hurt, dude. It's like, can you talk to this person? Like, you need a letter. You need to carry a letter with this thing. Like an SBR paperwork, you need to carry a letter with this to be like, no, please read this and understand that I do not want to go get gaped in jail. Please.
They have a whole letter that is on the website that they say, print this out and keep it with you.
Well, what's funny is it's back to being another SBR basically at that point, if you have to carry around paperwork for it to not get taken advantage of. Open letter to all federal firearms licensees regarding the Franklin Armory Reformation and Anti-Thesis firearms. The purpose of this open letter is to advise all federal firearms licenses at the Bureau of ATF Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives is rescinding a prior open letter dated December 19, 2019 regarding the Franklin Armory Reformation firearm. This open letter also advises FFLs on the classification of the Franklin Armory Reformation and Antithesis firearms under federal law. Now, who actually made this? So this is the Office of the Assistant Director Enforcement Programs and Services. But again, these letters from the ATF hold zero weight. All it takes is for the next administration to say, actually, we rescind this open letter, just like this open letter is rescinding the previous open letter. So this means nothing. It means something right now, but in the future, ain't going to mean anything. Nice to have, I guess. But again, future administration can just say, nuh-uh. All right. So, okay. Well, we're going to talk about this for a second. It's a little cringy, guys. Okay, let me frame this for you. There's this groundbreaking, revolutionary new product, never been done before, certainly not late to the party. It's a 2011, okay? It's going to be about $2,000 from Palmetto State Armory.
Can I put a Trijicon green dot on it?
You can put a Trijicon green dot on it. Indeed.
Peak.
We have the Saber 11 because they couldn't come up with a better sounding name. So listen, 2011's kind of finicky, kind of need to be hand fit, polished, and take a little massaging to get to work properly. You can buy cheap Turkish one, you can buy cheap South American ones, but Palmetto State Armory said, well, why not buy a cheap American one, but we charge you full price for it.
You can
keep in
buy
mind
a cheap
that
Florida Man one too.
Keep in mind, yeah. Well, the platypus. Well, not the platypus. What's the LFA? Is that the cheap one? LFA, and then there's another one, Apollo 11. But there's like two cheap American 2011s, and then there's
hey guys,
the PSA.
Cameron here from Palmetto State Armory, and I'm here to give you a product update on the most requested item from SHOT Show this year, and that is the Saber 11. We've seen all the requests in
the Saber 11. Now, listen. It looks like a nice 2011 from the outside looking in. Oh, I should also mention the Springfield Prodigy is like what, $1,300, $1,400. Like they're pretty inexpensive firearms for 2011.
Yeah, but that's loosely calling it an American.
Well, I guess that's fair. I mean, so as far as the Saber goes, I think it comes with two 19-round Atlas mags, which are like $100 each. So that's like kind of nice because 2011 mags suck. But it looks all right. It looks okay. The problem is the thing actually going to work? Many large companies bring their 2011s to market and have issues with them. The P211 has issues. The Springfield Prodigy has had issues. Almost all of the budget ones have issues. The LFA has wild quality control differences between each model. So, and $2,000 is kind of a mid-tier price. Right now, the Kimber 2K11s, which are actually pretty darn good, are sitting around that price tag as well from a company that's been, on the up and up as of late since Ron Cohen left.
Post-Cohen.
Funnily enough, yeah, post-Cohen actually been doing pretty good. It looks nice, but allegedly at SHOT Show this year, they said that it was going to be about the $2,000 price tag, which is simply not exciting because Staccatos, which is like your generic 2011, starts at about $2,500. So it ain't much cheaper than like the tried and true mature product. It's a brand new company brand new gun from a company that's not necessarily known for its quality control and has also never made a 2011 before.
Can we get a question in chat? Would you guys prefer a 2011 from an unknown company or from PSA?
Okay, listen, guys. 24 payments of $79.99. Well, actually, it'd probably be more than that. It'd be like 24 payments of like $120 with 30% interest. You could buy a PSA Saber 11.
Look at our
Those
super
interest rates.
cool, awesome American-made 2011. We topped it off with a Haro-san.
With the Haro-san?
With the Haro-san.
Night? Well, listen, okay, the Trigicon Green wasn't out yet. They couldn't put it.
True. Oh, true.
Can I buy it with food stamps? Yeah. See if you get your EBT check on that.
50 cents on the dollar. Yes, you can.
Mm-hmm.
DMs in the comments about you guys asking for an update on the Saber 11, and that's exactly what we're going to do here today. The Saber 11 just got through its pre-production testing, and now we're moving into the second phase of the actual production part testing that is coming up here soon. Some of the changes that we made on the Saber 11 are we changed the slide serrations to give you a deeper bite. We worked with our friends over at Agency Arm to provide an AOS cut slide. This will be compatible with all 1911 AOS cut optic plates. Another thing,
I wouldn't be shocked if most of the firearm is made by somebody else and then PSA is kind of just slapping their logo on it or providing some sort of logistic support for it. Because again, to bring something like this in-house to Palmetto State Armory, they would have to open like brand new machines, brand new machining types, and brand new assemblers. They'd have to like bring on a whole new team to develop these from the inside.
So
what
it would...
more likely happened is that they simply contracted somebody else to actually make these for them, and they would just make some of the parts for it. So there's probably some cooperation going on. Was it? Where did it? I see Ivan in chat. Yes, is 99% sure it's just a Rock Island Armory. It's made in America, as far as I'm aware, but I don't know if they contracted the design from somebody else. But they do kind of need a whole new team for that. People are saying it's just Rock Island Armory. Is it really? Is it just an American-made Rock Island Armory?
In the close-up, it does look just like a Rock Island Armory 2011 that's just been restamped for PSA.
America, Philippines used to be America. That's funny. Is America a city in Turkey? Rock Island Armory makes Palmetto State Armory's 1911s. Okay. Rock Island Armory has a factory in Utah. Okay. Yeah, I would be shocked if they were actually making this thing in-house. Assembled in America? Probably. Well, the parts are probably mimed somewhere, right? That's how a lot of these things go.
that you're going to notice on the Saber 11 is the black DLC coated barrel. We got this barrel coated in DLC black to match the slide as well as the frame. We worked with our friend Matt over at MJD Grips to come up with a Saber 11 specific grip module for
so again, it's made by everybody else. I don't know what PSA actually makes on it.
For the Saber 11. Another thing that we're going to be doing for the Saber 11 is that we worked with our friends over at Checkmate, and we're going to be using their proprietary 19-round mag.
Oh, it's the Checkmate mags, which are good mags.
This Saber 11 will ship with 2 of these in the box. Now that we went over some of the changes on the Saber 11 of where we're at today, I wanted to give you guys a realistic expectation of when to expect the Saber 11. We're about to go into our phase 2 testing, which is our production part testing. Now we might still have some changes on the overall gun, but our goal is to try to have this out by the end of the year. To stay up to date on all
more likely SHOT Show 2026 would be my guess. Unbin Blitz says if it's 2K, that's a crazy upcharge from the Rock Islands PSA tax. The price tag was supposed to be about $2,000, or I think they were trying to say under $2,000 at SHOT Show 2025. So I could see it going on sale for maybe $1,400, $1,500, but I think that it's still like above a Prodigy, above a Apollos, way above the Apollos, and there's a few other like cheap 2011s out there as well.
All things Saber 11. Follow us on our social media channels, and then make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube.
Don't do it. Don't do it, kids. It's a trick.
Module for specific.
But listen, I don't know. Does this sort of thing excite anyone who's not a diehard PSA fanboy?
Logan,
No.
Ask
Why
Logan.
would Logan has a staccato P? Why would you buy? Like, I have a staccato P. I need a backup gun that doesn't work. Can I get a PSA Saber 11, please?
Well, didn't he have to send his off to get work done?
Well, yeah, but that's all 2011s. All 2011 owners cope about their 2011s.
Well, just he can have a backup 2011.
Listen, I need a second gun that works half the time.
Yeah. Between the two, you will have one working gun.
Where the heck is the X9 or the X57? That's what I want. Just give me the MP7 that we have at home, please. Just please, Palmetto State Armory. Can you make a blowback 9mm that actually works, please? Please. Can you give me a TP9 for half the price, please? Please. Please. Speaking about half off, how about San Francisco vigilantes spraying overdose antidote Narcan into unsuspecting homeless people? So, okay, this next story, we're going to get to your support real fast, but just to preface this, imagine, if you will, a city so plagued by ODs that you have rogue squads of vigilantes Narcanning fanatics on the street.
Oh, well, we don't have
Kinda
to
base.
imagine. Logan's in luck. We don't have to imagine that anymore. It's happening.
Zanico for 2 says Judish Ratex. I probably said something racist there, but that's fine. Gabriel Baker for 2 says Korean Mags, the one that BCM's on BCM's website, the GS Global. I bought 10 of them like 5-6 years ago when I was in Washington. They work sometimes, most of the time. I forget who. I think they were contract overrun or something, because I got them for like $3 a piece, which is why I bought them, because they were so cheap. Everyday American for 5 says Thesis did it better. Ironically, Kimber has become a good quote-unquote budget model. That's what happens when you bounce the coin clipper. I've heard very good things about the 2K11s from Kimber, unironically. Subartic Psycho for 2 says can't wait for Ben to review it. Well, I kind of doubt Ben's going to review it, because Ben hasn't reviewed the Thesis, the LFA, the Platypus, or some of the other really budget, terrible 2011s out there. So I kind of doubt it's worth his time. Moonman for 2 says, double stack, why? A 9mm 1911? Why? For 2K? Why? Well, listen, okay, 9mm is objectively the best pistol caliber out there, for sure. Double stack is the way to get the most of that caliber into your handgun. And a 1911, well, I agree with you on that part. And the $2,000, I also agree with you, yeah. No, just simply not worth it. Chud for 2 says, we got the H-1B visas on the Saber 11 QC line. True. Which is better than Bear Creek Arsenal's assembly line or QC line, where it's simply just illegal immigrants. They don't even have an H-1B. It's just illegal aliens. Thank you, Chud. 7 Industries for 2 says, shut up and give me the X9 next year. For sure. SHOT Show 2027, baby. Daddy Actual for 2 says it's being made by Jacob Gray. Is that I'm not familiar with 2011s. Is that a troll or?
Logan said if it's true, it'd be good, but I do not know them either. I'm not a 2011s guy.
Well, again, if it is, I mean, I look at a 2011 and I'm like, that looks normal to me. I don't know what. Oh my gosh, dude, what the heck is going on? Can't even get onto your website. I hate how every single one of these websites now has an age verification where I have to type in my age to get in. It's like, I get it, I'm old, okay? But, I mean, if it is a Jacob Gray, yeah, the $2,000 asking price sounds normal. I don't know if it's going to be any more expensive than that, or any cheaper than that, for sure. And let me check over here. Dogman Defense for 1 over on Rumble says PSA branded aluminum magazines are just rebranded D&H Cage Code, D&H OEM's BCM magazines, and a few others. They're legit and frequently go on sale for $10. Yeah, I mean, if I didn't already have 100 5.56 mags, I would be itching to get some more, but I'm pretty stocked up. Chud for 2 says 2011s are gay. Just get a 34. You can appendix carry them. Yeah. If you're a chud like Chud, you can appendix carry a 34. It's a little big for my britches. All right. So San Francisco vigilantes spraying the overdose antidote Narcan into unsuspecting homeless people. Self-styled street vigilantes are reportedly roaming around San Francisco spraying the anti-overdose drug Narcan into the noses of unsuspecting homeless people before posting video of their attacks online to brag on social media. The disturbing tactic, designed to chase homeless people off of the sidewalk, has left fentanyl users... I love how nice that sounds. Has left fentanyl users in San Francisco writhing in sudden withdrawal after being hit with the overdose reversal spray. This article from New York Post is like framing this as a bad thing. And you could say that some of these guys are doing it maliciously to troll. But if you're trolling a fent user, like, is that really trolling if you're stopping them from getting high? I think it's kind of funny.
Trolling a user with sobriety? I mean...
Yeah.
Damn,
despite
crazy.
not over... Like, listen, guys, they were using fent, but they weren't overdosing. So you just ruined their high for no reason. According to an ABC 7 report, one victim, 43-year-old Nestor Garcia, told the San Francisco Standard that a stranger shoved the plastic nozzle of Narcan up his nose this summer in the UN Plaza, triggering violent sickness and leaving him vomiting on the pavement.
Hold on, wait. Go back and reread that again. Did I hear that correctly?
So one victim, 43-year-old Nestor Garcia, told San Francisco Standard that a stranger shoved the plastic nozzle of Narcan up his nose this summer in the UN Plaza, triggering violent sickness and leaving him vomiting on the pavement.
So we have heroin and fentanyl users in the United Nations Plaza.
Victims.
Victims. Mr. Garcia.
They can't keep it shoot up in peace no mo.
I hate everything about this story.
Yeah, so they're on the sidewalks, they're in the camps, and some gentleman runs up and shoves Narcan up their nose and gives them a little hit of it and ruins their high, and they are now a victim. Which is funny because shouldn't they just be like off the streets? Like, why? I mean, I hate this because it's like, okay, they're homeless for one. Fine, terrible, it happens to people, it's very sad, we need to help those sort of people. But if they're also like using drugs in public, like explicitly illegal substances, shouldn't they just be removed from public? Like, I feel like if the laws were simply enforced, although we'll talk about a follow-up article in just a second, if the laws were just being enforced, they wouldn't have the opportunity to be using fent or heroin or anything else. And then you wouldn't also have this vigilante problem of people using Narcan on them if they simply weren't in public using drugs. Am I crazy?
It makes sense to me.
Garcia hadn't slept in days from his drug use when he began nodding off on his bicycle in UN Plaza, his feet slipping from the pedals as he slumped over the handlebars in a fentanyl-induced haze. Remember, this is the victim. This is the guy cycling past, young girls and their mother.
Nations.
Plaza. It's just the name of the plaza, the UN Plaza. His feet slipping on the gas pedals as he slumped over the handlebars in a fentanyl-induced haze. He admits he was in rough shape, but insists he was still conscious when a man shoved Narcan into his nose, shocking his body into violent withdrawal before ordering him not to sleep there. Mega based. Hey, fent zombie, can you not crash your bike in front of my store? Can you not do that, please? Like, listen, you're in public. There are children. There are people that walk here. The street is not a place for you to sleep and crap on and, have your fent zombie pose just hanging out. Like, you shouldn't be here. Have a shot of Narcan, wake up, and get out of here.
Yep, man was Fent leaned over his bike about to fall over, and the guy went, "Oh, let me help this guy. Here you go."
Dude, okay,
How
well,
dare
here,
you?
okay,
How
let's
dare
even take,
you?
like, I don't know, if I have Narcan, because I live in one of these hellholes, and I see somebody slumped over their bike, like, half conscious, like, I'm supposed to use the Narcan on them, aren't I? If I'm like, oh, that guy's ODing right there, I'll let him die, I guess. Like, regardless of the intentions, like, that's just the correct action to do. He knew I was still awake. He had bad intentions for sure. Yeah, he wanted to stop your Fent-induced zombie pose in front of his store or in public as he's walking by. The jolt left Garcia flailing, puking, and drenched in sweat as his body went into sudden opioid withdrawal. Problem solved, I guess. It felt like a bad dream. Well, you were in the middle of a good dream, I don't know, a Fent-induced stupor, and you got dragged back to reality, whether you liked it or not. Narcan, the brand name for naloxone, is a fast-acting medication that reverses opioid overdoses by blocking opioids. Damn, I cannot talk. Brain receptors and restoring normal breathing. It is safe for anyone to use, commonly delivered as a nasal spray, and it has little to no effect on people who don't have opioids in their system. There you go. Look at that dancing cat. However, in those dependent on opioids, Narcan can trigger a sudden and severe withdrawal symptoms such as vomiting, sweating, and agitation. Once dosed, users also report soaring anxiety, wild swings in body temperature, and an urgent craving for their next hit. Almost like being a Fent addict in the first place. Here, talk amongst yourselves for a second.
So this plaza is about 3 blocks away from the Children's Creativity Museum.
Check your mic.
Place.
Still staticky, King. Oh, still staticky.
I love it.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm back.
Oh, well, just in time.
The drug effects last about an hour, during which users are unable to get high. A period many describe as unbearable.
The jokes they write themselves.
Scroll down. Look at this lovely little street. Look at this Fent encampment here. San Francisco has recorded more than 3,500 fatal overdoses in the past 4 years, according to the city's Department of Public Health. Which, if I had to guess, 3,500 deaths in the city is probably one of the leading causes of death. So maybe they should have more of these Narcan vigilantes running around, forcefully administrating this stuff. To fight the crisis, officials have distributed more than 500,000 doses of Narcan citywide since 2021. 500,000 doses. But the life-saving drug is now being improperly used by residents seeking to get the homeless off city streets. Honestly, I think that's great. I think that if you see these people and you just hit them with Narcan, ruin their high, be like, nope, not here. You want to be high, you go somewhere else. Not here. Not in front of my house. Like, who lives in this apartment complex? You want these guys, kids coming in and out, walking to school, to whatever? You want these guys around those? Nope. And Narcan, well, it ruins their high, and it makes them feel uncomfortable for a little while. Seems like a pretty, nice retort.
I agree.
6 drug users told the Standard they had been startled awake, so they were in a Fent-induced stupor, startled awake in recent months by strangers either spraying Narcan into their noses or threatening to do so. Yeah. It's like bear spray, but for Fent zombies. Yeah. Like, back up, I'll get you, back up. They're using it like a weapon, said Kenneth Bird, who is homeless and addicted to fentanyl.
What a combo.
That's so funny. People are going around doing it just for kicks, Bird says. It's effed up, dog. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, says Henry Jones, a homeless man who said he was jolted awake this year by someone spraying Narcan into his nose. Sad.
Could you get like a nebulizer that just kind of sprays it in an AoE in front of you and just kind of like a leaf blower?
It has to work because it doesn't even work on people who aren't addicted to opioids.
Yeah.
So you just put it in like a cat spray bottle.
Mosquito fogger.
a fogger or something.
All right, now listen to this guy. So this is Henry Jones. I've been shot 7 times. Being Narcan was worse.
Bruh.
Word of the attacks has spread fear through San Francisco's homeless community, even as online commenters, that's me, cheer the tactic as vigilante justice. Listen, when your city has a community of homeless fence zombies, and they're a oppressed minority within your city, I think that's a you problem. I think you got to look inward and figure out how to solve the fact that you have one of these communities.
It kind of sounds like it is having the intended effect.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, social stigma. Again, it's not harmful to them. It might even save their life. A viral Instagram video viewed more than 4 million times since July 9th shows a man brandishing Narcan to force a drug user off a Tenderloin sidewalk. The clip is captioned, "The best way to get somebody up in San Francisco." That's a self-report, San Francisco. That's on you.
Ooh.
It's like when your city has a poop tracker so you can track all the public poop, it's a you problem.
The best part of waking up is Narcan in your nasal cavities.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, just needles strewn about. Very nice. Very nice. Anyways, how about we get some more of this? Massachusetts Democrats push 2 bills to decriminalize fentanyl and establish decriminalization zones around safe injection sites in a gamble critics could say could turn Boston into the overdose capital of America. So these are essentially modified crime-free zones, right? Where the law does not apply as long as you're within a certain distance of these safe injection sites. All right, so think about this as a concept, okay? We're saying, yeah, the laws on the book say you can't do this unless you're within this certain radius, okay? So think about this as a concept. And now let's apply it to drunk driving, murder, theft, right? Let's create a PvP arena where we all agree that murder and assault is bad. However, if you go into the arena, the rules no longer apply to you. I mean, that's essentially what this is.
We're creating little mini purge zones, little PvP pockets.
Well,
you're
so
not
yeah,
entering an unregulated area.
So I like how this is called a decriminalization zone.
All the crimes
I
are
like
happening
that
in it,
term.
though.
Yeah, it's like a DMZ between two countries. Yeah, it's exactly like that. It's like you got this little hotspot. It's like all crime is legal in this area within 100 feet radius of this place. And then of course you have your homeless fentatics. Which, listen, like, I'm coming across as pretty harsh right now. I get it. But I feel terrible for these people. I feel like these people actually need help. I feel like they need rehab. They need people to, if need be, forcefully take them out of these sorts of environments and to get them onto the right path, right? I do not think that these people should be left to their own devices to use fent until they overdose. I do not think that should be the case. I think that these people need help, and it is our job to help them. Not to, it's like, I don't know, if you have an alcoholic parent or an alcoholic friend in your life, and you're like, you know what, man, you just keep drinking, bro. You just do you. In fact, here's the keys to my new car. Why would you do that? No, of course, you would want to get them help because you have a heart. You want to actually help these people. You want to fix the problem, not keep pushing them down this path. Listen, fentanyl and these drugs, they only lead one place. And that's an untimely end. There is no good ending for the fent user. I mean, this is your prospect in life, like right here. Like, and you want more of this? You want to decriminalize it? You want to have more of these people in your city, in your communities? No, of course not. And whatever you subsidize, whatever you tolerate, you're going to get more of. You just need to use social shame and stigma and crime and punishment as well, to clean up your streets and clean up your towns. And also, we could also death penalty for drug distributors, but that's just drug dealers. That's just my take. Boston, Massachusetts. Democrats are preparing to unleash legalized drug dens across the Commonwealth, pushing 2 radical bills that critics warn will plunge neighborhoods into chaos. Of course, imagine a fent dealer looking at these laws and saying, wait, there's decriminalized zones where like the cops aren't even allowed to enforce the laws in these zones. Like, this is my lucky day. Business is booming for me. Business has never been better. It's easier for people to have access to it, and they can't even get arrested. They can't even arrest my clientele. S 1391 wipes out possession charges, declaring that drug use alone can't be the basis for a criminal case. Translation: heroin in your pocket, fentanyl in your veins, cocaine on the table. None of it a crime unless you tack on another offense. Again, they are selectively turning laws on and off depending on where your physical location is. Judges lose the power to order addicts into treatment. Well, that's going to help them. Police lose the authority to act. The message from Beacon Hill is clear. Use what you want where you want. Like, isn't this what you want outside of your home, outside of your apartment complex? Like, isn't this what you like? Your young children, your wife, your sister, Arena, right? You want her walking past these people every night?
Apartment complex, or is that like a $1.2 million brownstone?
And if you do something about it, they'll probably arrest you. Then comes S1393, which supercharges so-called harm reduction centers, which is anytime the government comes out a name like the Safety Enforcement Enacted Policy of 2025 or the harm reduction zone or any of these names, it's the opposite of that. It's not really that. Harm reduction centers, by giving them sweeping immunity from the law. Staff, operators, and addicts inside would be untouchable. The result, government-protected shooting galleries, shooting as in shooting up with heroin, or fent or whatever. I don't even know how you take fent, okay? I don't know. I don't want to know. Legalized drug dens where heroin and fentanyl flow freely while cops stand helpless at the curb. Democrats dress it up as compassion, but Boston is already living the nightmare. In the South End, children walk to school past addicts collapsed on the sidewalks, stepping over bodies and discarded needles as if it were part of the morning routine. Parents dodge overdosing strangers outside of playgrounds. Storefronts sit empty while dealers circle like sharks. It looks less like harm reduction and more like the opening scene of a horror film.
Wow.
I love how vibrant these cities are.
That house where the guy was sitting out in front of.
I mean, look at this.
It's for sale.
This is not how man was supposed to live.
What would you guess that house is for sale?
Well, I mean, it's clearly not in a good area. But
I
it's
lost
also
your
in a
guys'
massive city.
audio. So you guys can hear me, but I can't hear you. Give me 1 second.
Oh,
did my mic shit out?
No, your mic's good, but you can't hear us, so it's not gonna matter.
It's
Take
now
a
the
guess
Bose
at what
Maloney Show. I'm joking. Go ahead, Richard. What's going on?
The house that fine young gentleman was sitting outside of a couple minutes ago, one almost identical to it, is for sale right now. Take a wild guess as to what they're wanting for that house.
I mean,
in Boston,
probably way too much.
Rough estimate.
I mean, brother, it's such a diverse question. It's what kind of house is it? So just like a
regular brown, so walk up brownstone.
I don't know, man, like $300,000.
Yeah. Try $6.9 million.
Brother, the insanity. Oh my God. That's
$6.9 million for that house with a fent addict sitting out front. It's in
it's in Boston, guys. It's Boston. Jesus, that's wild. I mean, it shows you how, not to change the subject, but it shows you how fucked the housing market is right now. Is he back?
I'm back. I'm sorry. My apologies, dude. If I was cutting you guys off, I apologize. I couldn't hear you because my ear switched, so I actually couldn't hear you at all. What housing price were we talking about?
The fine young gentleman who was sitting outside of the steps earlier, and you said, imagine this thing sitting outside of your apartment.
Go on.
That house is for sale right now for $6.9 million.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yep.
6.9 million.
7 million.
Okay.
Man.
Hey, do you get the fence zombies? Are they like a protective ward? Like, do they come with it, or is that extra?
They're like gargoyles.
I think
Six?
I think that might actually be it. I put the link in the side chat there. This is wild. $6.9 million.
I mean, it looks similar.
I mean, that might be it, but I mean,
It's
okay.
still
Like,
that's
how big is it? Oh, it's not even
That's
that
in
big.
Boston.
I mean, it's big. It's 5 bedrooms, 4 bath, 5,000 square feet, which is a big house. But
It's only $38,000 a month for your mortgage.
okay, I mean, it's got some cool views. Like, listen, if it wasn't a hellscape outside, I kind of get it. It's kind of a vibe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if like America wasn't such a degenerate place in the cities, I would actually like there's a world in which I'd be like, man, this would be so cool to have a really nice house like this and to live somewhere, you know, around your fellow Americans. But that's just not the world in which we live.
no. You've got
Like, imagine
zombies outside your front door.
Imagine this as your idyllic Americana, right? And just there's some idyllic world outside, and this is where you live. Like, you'd be pretty happy with that. But the reality of it is that there's booming fence zombies and gunshots, and it's $7 million,
and not the good kind of gunshots. It's not your neighbor saying, "Hey, come over and shoot steel with me this afternoon." It's somebody getting shot.
Yeah, we need Narcan darts, like Narcan blow darts or whatnot. So you
Oh,
can just
lawn
hit 'em while
darts.
they're- Yeah,
Oh yes.
it is a gorgeous house. It is a very, very pretty house. Okay. Well, we're gonna save the rest of this for another time. I want to say we could go over. I have, if you guys remember, Tacticon is looking for a infusion of about $5 million so they don't go out of business. And I had somebody shared with me the Tacticon investment armament investor deck, so we could go over that tonight, or we could do it Friday night. But it is essentially, actually, we'll do it Friday night because I have a guest coming on for Friday. But it is their actual investment deck, and it is them essentially going over everything that went wrong and how much money they need, exactly where it's going to go, exactly what they're going to do with it, all that sort of fun stuff. So
Can't wait to see
that
this
could
for
be fun to go
T-Rex
over.
Arms.
Well, yeah, they have a bigger investment deck because they don't need $5 million; they need like $15 million.
Ooh.
A little bit rough. And then I don't know if you guys saw this as well, but Thompson Center, they bought Green Mountain, I want to say. So Green Mountain barrels are now Thompson Center, or at least they're owned by Thompson Center.
I have a love-hate
Apologies for
relationship
my
with Thompson.
ignorance. What is Thompson Center? Who is this man?
Thompson Center, they went like dark for a little while, and then this guy bought them and wanted to bring them back to life. They're a bolt action rifle company, essentially. They used to make some really nice rifles. And so he brought them back, and he's trying to take them like big mainstream. So a lot of investment cash. He's trying to come out with some new products. He's buying a barrel company, Green Mountain Barrel, which is one of the big barrel manufacturers. So,
All right.
it's cool doing cool stuff, making some moves in the industry while there's a bit of a downturn. So honestly, some things might be cheaper to buy up right now. So if you're looking for future investment opportunities, it's maybe not a bad idea.
I definitely have a love-hate relationship with Thompson. One of my first guns that I ever fired was a Thompson Center Contender, the pistol in 35 Remington, which is a rifle cartridge that's pretty beefy. And I had a scope take a nice chunk out of my right eye. So,
yeah, were you not ready for the recoil on that thing?
I was 11.
Oh, 11, yeah, that didn't. No, but I showed it on the channel, actually. I've showed a 300 Win Mag, a bolt action 300 Win Mag from Thompson Center. I think it's a Compass model or whatnot. Yeah, but no, that was a pretty decent gun.
Yes, the Compass is the bolt action. The Contender is the handgun that is wildly unsafe, but still fun.
Hell yeah. What a freeze frame.
This is a great frame. Totally not going to get arrested at some point. Chud McGill for 2 says 2011s are gay. Oh, we already read that one. Thank you, Chud. Appreciate it, man. Heathen from Texas for 5 says, in speaking of double stack 1911s, thoughts on the Para Ordnance 1445 Black Ops. Richard, could you get me a link for that? Para Ordnance 1445 Black Ops.
Jamie, pull that up.
Jamie, pull it up. Ridiculous for 2 says, is a Thesis Night Stalker 2011 all that bad? I've heard mixed things. Okay, so here's the thing. If you buy one of the Max, one of the Thesis 2011s, you're probably getting a bad quality controlled product that you might be able to get a good one, or you might be able to turn it into a good thing. So if you're into tinkering with 2011s, or you just want to learn, you can get in cheap and play around with it. For that purpose, I don't think they're terrible, but if you're looking for like a duty 2011, whatever that means, I would not go with something like that.
Trench would know. Lots of testing on the T-Shots pistols.
Bert for 2 says fentanyl, the San Francisco anti-treat. The San Francisco special is a pile of crap on the sidewalk and a fent zombie right next to it. Just some space cowboy for 2 says use metal mags if you want to get into Agartha. You know, that's actually a very good point. Thank you, Just Some Space Cowboy. Black Bear Actual for $20.
Are you trying to have sex with me?
Can't catch the live. I listen at work. Been watching y'all since the T-Rex arms follow up, and quickly became my favorite content. Well, hey, thank you, Black Bear. That's very kind of you, sir. Never sent a super chat before, so this ought to cover for a while. God bless, stay safe, and good night. Well, Black Bear Actual, first off, mega-based PFP. Can you send that to me? Because I was looking for that picture the other night, and I couldn't find it. So if you could send that to me, that'd be awesome. And if you're watching this at work later, like, I appreciate it, man. You have a good day. You know, I'm glad that we can provide some escapism and some reality, hopefully, in your day-to-day life, you know, while you're doing something else. Because that, when I was a forklift operator, when I was an Amazon driver, when I was doing normal jobs, I was always trying to keep my mind off of what I was actually doing and pass the time. And I would use YouTubers and podcasters and all sorts of stuff to kind of keep myself preoccupied while I was on the grind, so to speak. So thank you.
Were
Black
you
Bear. I
ever
appreciate it,
a
man.
pool boy or a pizza delivery boy or?
No.
Oh.
No, sir. Chud says, to be fair, George Droid can't survive without defense reactor. That's true. I did show this earlier, but this is from Declaration of Memes. Their hero is Charlie Kirk. Our hero is George Floyd. We are not the same. I agree. I do agree. Moonman for 5 says, Cowboy is right. Use the mag. The OG intended Stan eggs, Steelies or Bakelites, Poly if it's some kind of Euro BS as God intended. Thank you, Moonman. Yeah, I mean, there are some vibey other mags, but I hate 5.56 mags that aren't Stan Ag. Everyday American became a new YouTube member. Hey, thank you, sir. Appreciate it, man. Chud McGill for 2 says, Kyle is saying Glocks aren't reliable. This Nijix. I think I said that correctly. This Nijix. I got to be very careful, otherwise I'm going to end up in a PSI interview saying, did you see what Focus Strip said in a live stream in 2025? Thank you, Judd. Ridiculous for 2 says, Narcan ninjas to the rescue. No opioids allowed. True. Indeed. We will stop the MODing one fence zombie at a time. Galussi, Super 42 for 2 says, Ben shot 7 times, 50 fent. That's actually really good. Yeah, we should have called him 50 fent. Moonman for 5 says, we have entered the war on drugs. We are on the side of the drugs. It's true. There is a war on drugs. There's the for and the against sides. Thank you for that, Moonman. And another Moonman again says, my bestie's mom's Guido husband, himself a felon, said it's so crazy that in Boston Common that they have blue lights in the bathrooms for restaurants. I hate it when I go into like a local rest stop or a gas station and they have the safe needle disposal area or whatnot. It's always a sign that you're in a sketchy neighborhood, and it just incentivizes these people to be using your facilities. I hate it. Thank you.
Also, you mispronounced that slur. It's Guido.
Guido? Oh, sorry. Is Guido a slur?
Yes.
For Italians, right?
Well, it's
Oh, I'm sorry.
funny enough. It's also one of my good buddies. It's his last name, and he is Italian, extremely Italian.
Whatever, Guido.
He ran a hair salon where he offered shaves and haircuts, and he said, "You just got cut by a Guido." He sold shirts. It was hilarious.
Dog man, why would you send me this? I am not showing this on screen. I don't even think I can show this on screen. This is disgusting. Charlie Kirk suspects disturbing secret kinks, sickening cache of porn searches revealed his pedophile friend, and furry shades of gay game. I cannot show that image on screen. Dogman. Thank you for that, though. I totally wanted to know what he was actually into. Gabriel Baker for 5 says, my favorite part of the stream is when Richard goes off on a tangent and John sits in silence for 3 seconds and then goes, yeah, fantastic dynamic. Richard goes on his little tangents, and it's not quite long enough for me to get to the boom, because I always think he's about to wrap up. Then we just continue on. Just Some Space Cowboy for 5 says, tarring and feathering should be protected by free speech. I think it would fix a lot of problems. Hi, Moonman. Yeah, I think it's my constitutionally protected right to tar and feather you. I agree. Thank you, Just Some Space Cowboy. Gabriel Baker for 2 says, now entering the Dark Zone, like in The Division. Central, yeah, it's the DMZ, but for your local metropolis. Moonman for 5 says, the good Lord commands you to be your brother's keeper. And Benito once said, a righteous man doesn't need consent. I wonder in which context Benito said a righteous man doesn't need consent. I need to look up that speech. Thank you, Moonman. Gabriel Baker for 2 says, Narcan compilation with Bring Me to Life playing. You know what? I'm actually, now that you guys mention it, I am going to look up YouTube Narcan video. Narcan Vigilante. Here we go.
To be a lifesaver for a drug user who has overdosed, but now there are reports that it's used for harm. Our media partner, the San Francisco Standard, has a new article out detailing how, fed up with drug users, some street vigilantes are wielding Narcan like a weapon. Joining us live now to explain, SF Standard reporter David Shostad. David, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I guess we should back it up a little bit. Explain what Narcan is and what it's designed for.
Narcan is the brand of naloxone, which is a drug that is used to reverse over.
I want to find where they interview one of the people that's been hit by it. I want to.
Oh, they're not
this
gonna.
Poor victim. Oh, are they not actually going to show somebody? Come on.
Like, yeah, nah.
Ah, darn it! They're not even going to show. They're just going to talk about how this gay. Narcan. Homeless. I don't. They must have banned the content from YouTube.
Bummer.
I do not see it. I mean, I see some people giving, like, altruistically giving people Narcan, which is a good thing. But nobody forcibly using Narcan on homeless people. Ridiculous for 2 says, can we farm high value loot in the Dark Zone? Well, that's the thing about these Dark Zone. It is common loot only. Like, the best firearm you're going to find is a Taurus G2C. Or G3C, maybe. High point C9s. It's not going to be high value loot. It's basically the gray zone. Thank you, Ridiculous. Boy Anderson for 2 says, Massey named a pedo. Jess Stolley. We accelerate. Are we talking about Thomas Massey? Why is Thomas Massey talking about Jess Stolley? I'm not familiar with him.
Massey's been on a rant lately towards the whole Epstein stuff, so be interested to see what he's got to say.
Sure. Let me see. I don't see anything quick that I can just pick up because he posts a lot, but yeah, no, do you guys see that retarded, what's the girl's name? Pam Anderson? Who's the AG? Pam Bondi, right? That's the one. She's saying something about hate speech, being a retarded loser. It's like, could you stop saying that, please? Thank you, Boy Anderson, for the 2. I appreciate it, man. Just Some Space Cowboy for 10 says the original 9mm 1911 was in 38 Super. The OSS used it and it was based. These new ones in 9x19 are lame and gay. Shaking my head. Now I need to stop buying Super Chats and buy more 38 Super. That's true. With that Super Chat, you could have bought 10 rounds of 38 Super. I appreciate it, though. Thank you, Just Some Space Cowboy. Maybe now I can afford some 38 Super. Heathen from Texas for 5 says, and without the Fent zombies, it'd be double the price. Well, yeah, the neighborhood used to be like an attractive part of certain houses. You know, it's like, oh, it's in the suburbs, it's in downtown. But now it's like, oh, it's in the suburbs, it's in downtown. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Heathen from Texas. Moonman for 5 says Thompson Center rifles that were under $200 at Cabela's when I worked there with a Nikon scope, and all I could think was, yeah, this is what I would use. All right, Moonman. Heavy Fed posting right there. We appreciate it, man. Weekend Gunner for 2 says, who's up drying their fire right now, huh? And by drying my fire, I mean bang. All right, and over on Ko-Fi, we have Fresh Pinochet for 3 saying, it's Narcan, not Narcant. Don't let your memes be dreams, my dude. Very true. Fresh Pinochet to the hit tune Many Men wish to Narcan me, zombied out on the street, just my homeless Nigers and me trying to take my high away. True. Wish to Narcan me. That's actually a good song, though. Thank you for that, Pinochet. I appreciate it, man. All right, guys, we're done. We're out of here. I'm leaving. You can't stop me. Bones, what do you got coming up, man?
That is a good question. Really, I'm not sure yet. I'm working on some videos. We got the standardized civilian defense rifle, which I've been thinking about for a super long time. That should be very fun. And then also maybe a video on handguards too, because I've got some more hot takes to dish out after Yeah. So
but you guys need to check it out because he's almost at 1,000 subscribers. He's almost there.
It's pretty crazy. We're like 200 watch hours from monetization, and it's all gonna go downhill from there.
It's all over once you get monetized. You're gonna sell it instantaneously. I know
instantaneous shell out.
Are you narcanning this live? True. Richard, what do you got going on?
I do retarded things over on the second channel if you guys aren't aware. So.
They're very funny.
Yep, I just take the stream and put it into small bite-sized segments that you can watch, share, do all of the YouTube things. If you subscribe over there,
where's one of these thumbnails? Some of these thumbnails are so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, like
this one. I love this one. Yeah, the hand coming up there at it. That's the one. I like your screen grabs. I think they're funny.
I gotta get them while I can because if I try and get them off of the YouTubes, they suck. So I try to get them. While we're in studio.
You only need like 5, and then you just keep reusing them. That's what you do.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. So
yeah, you got all the ones you need. You got the generic, the upset, the confused, the angry, the bored, the surprised one, the Joe Biden is taking your gun rights one, all the basics.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with all that out of the way, gentlemen, I got some stuff coming up. You know, I got a match tomorrow. I got a match Saturday. We'll stream on Friday. I have like 2 videos in the tank that I just need to get around to actually editing to go up on the main channel. Of course, I did just upload a video on the Gun.Deals channel about what optic setup is right for you. So if you guys want generic gun content, it's on the Gun.Deals channel. I upload 2 videos a week minimum over there. So you guys should definitely go check that out. And I'll try and get some videos out on the main channel as well. But with all that out of the way, gentlemen, thanks to everybody hanging out. Thanks for those who support, who just watch, who like and share. It means a lot that you guys hang out and choose to allow me to do the things that I enjoy to do, and I hope that I am a good steward of your time and of your support. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You have a wonderful night, and God bless.
Check it out.
Moonman for 2 says